It's the number 1 versus the number 2 in the PGCBL East. The Amsterdam Mohawks travel up to play the Saugerties Stallions for the 4th time here at Cantine, and game number 11 between these two teams on the year. Mohawks have 1 game left after this, Stallions 2, so this will be the last time these two teams play in the regular season. Mohawks have already clinched the 1 spot. Stallions have clinched the 2 spot. So these two teams might meet in the second round of the postseason if they both were to advance. But heading into today's game, the Mohawks have won 6 of the 9 matchups this season. As we take a look at the PGCBL seasons as a whole for these two squads, the Mohawks and Stallions offense is very similar. Only 3 points separate them in batting average, but the Mohawks are slightly better in the on-base and slugging category. These Mohawks really have been giving it to the Stallions all season long. They come into today at 39-2. Now we're going to turn to the Stallions defense. They got starting pitcher Sean Dertinger throwing for the Stallions. This is going to be his 4th start of the season. This is a guy who has plenty of experience against Amsterdam. Pitched for the Stallions last year in the summer of 2024. And this year he's done a great job. 14 innings pitched. He's only given up 2 earned runs, good for an ERA of 1.28. Now let's take a look at the Amsterdam lineup to see if they can hit Mr. Dertinger. This is the first time that he's pitching against Amsterdam this season. The Mohawks lineup looks a little like this. Luke Filippi leading things off in center field. He comes into today with an on-base percentage of nearly 500. Broke their regular season single-season walks record. Behind him, Brent Rowell, Jake Sparks 2-3. Luke Costello in the 4th spot with the SEC Auburn product. Brandon McCrane hitting 5th, playing 2nd. John McCullough at 1st, Sebastian Harden in right, Will Cowan at short, 6, 7, 8, rounded out with Peyton Jemison, the extra hitter, and Zach Hernandez as the designated hitter. Zach Hernandez, designated hitter, hitting 10. He's a pitcher for Amsterdam, one of the 7 All-Star selections for the Amsterdam Mohawks, and he's making his debut on the hitting side here today in game number 11 between these two teams and game number 42 for Amsterdam, and it's game number 40 for the Ponies as well. Rain delay postponed the start of this game by about 15 minutes, but after that quick rain delay, both teams are ready. Sean Dertinger into his motion, first pitch home, misses way upstairs, ball 1, and we have action. Luke Filippi leading things off for Amsterdam. First pitch, second pitch from Dertinger is upstairs, swing and a miss, 4 strike 1. Mohawks come into today winners of 4 of their last 5. They have a run differential of plus 14 during that time, averaging nearly 7 runs a ball game. Wind the kick, the pitch from Dertinger misses upstairs, 2-1. Luke Filippi leads off for Amsterdam, and this is a guy to circle on your lineup cards at home, folks. Comes into today with an on-base percentage of just above 400 at 421. He broke their single-season walks record with 44 as he lines a base hit here. Diving is Casey Comiskey over at 3rd base for the Stallions. It's the leadoff runner for Amsterdam here to start the first inning. Let's take a quick look at the defensive alignment for the Ponies. Going from left to right in the outfield, John Freitag, Luis Rodriguez, and Adonis Medina. Rodriguez starting for the first time in nearly a month for the Stallions. He's patrolling center field. Casey Comiskey at 3rd, who just dove on the hit from Filippi. Jamie Z at short. Andrew Ray at 2nd, with Dylan Passo over at 1st, and George Baker doing the catching with Sean Dertinger doing the pitching. 4th start for Dertinger. 4th start for Baker behind the dish as well. Filippi now is on 1st for Brett Rowell, who's doing the catching for Amsterdam on the other side. Dertinger fires in a strike, nothing in 1 count on Rowell. Amsterdam did not play last night. They were off. Last time they played was 2 days ago, back on July 25th. In that ball game, they did mercy the Glens Falls Dragons 11-1 in 8 innings. They used 5 different pitchers to get 8 innings of work out of the bullpen. The big one was James Reddick. He went 3. For Amsterdam, the Stallions were off yesterday as well. Team, including the broadcast interns, got to travel to Yankee Stadium and watch the Yankees take on the Phillies. Phillies did win that one 9-4 yesterday. The Yankees won Game 3 of the series today. Chopped in play. Ray will come in on it, tag the runner, and go over to first for the double play. Andrew Ray forcing a double play. 2 outs now brings up the third baseman, Jake Sparks. This is a guy who's a new addition to the Amsterdam Mohawks this summer here in 2025, but he's a familiar face for the Amsterdam fans. Played for the Mohawks last year in 2024. And pops this one in play. Shortstop Jamie Z's camped underneath it, calls off Comiskey. And Sean Dertinger faces the minimum here in the first inning. He allows a leadoff hit, but gets some help from Andrew Ray over at second. Forces the double play. It's 0-0 going to the bottom half of the first. Welcome back to Canty. Nick Zuppi alongside Bella Holleran. Here in the Pack Hub broadcast booth, Sean Dertinger out on the mound for the Ponies, and he forces a 1-2-3 inning in the top half. Gets some help from the second baseman, Andrew Ray. And as I drop his name, let's take a look at the Stallions lineup today, going against starting pitcher Kai Cheng En, formerly known as Andy Kai. It's going to be Luis Rodriguez leading things off for the Stallions, something he hasn't done in nearly a month. Last time he played in the leadoff spot was June 25th. Against the Amsterdam Mohawks, actually. He's back in the lineup. Jamie Z at number 2. He's the shortstop. Dylan Passo 3. With Pat Costin in only his second game of the summer as a Stallion. The last one was against the Boonville Lumberjacks. Logan Sanchez, fresh off a home run 2 days ago in the 5th spot as the DH. With Adonis Medina in right, Casey Comiskey, George Baker, 6, 7, 8. John Freitag in left, and Andrew Ray rounding things out as the 10th hitter for the Stallions here today. The arm they're going to be facing is Kai Chen En, the right-hander for Amsterdam this year. 18 2/3 innings pitched, a 3.38 ERA. And this is his first game started for the Amsterdam Mohawks. He's made 12 previous relief appearances, including one where he pitched against the Stallions in the 5-5 tie up at Shuttleworth Park, where he came in for the 10th and only allowed one run to come across. That one would end in a tie, like we just said, 5-5. Up at Shuttleworth. Stallions as a whole at Shuttleworth were 2-3-1 on the season, and that's a major step forward simply because last year they were winless up there at Amsterdam. But here at home, they haven't taken advantage of that either. 1-3 versus the Mohawks here at Canty, and they dropped the first one 15-9 and lost the most recent one 8-4 back on July 23rd, just 4 days ago. First pitch from the end, misses upstairs, ball 1 to Luis Rodriguez. Rodriguez back in the leadoff spot. He played 19 games for the Stallions, good for a .382 batting average. But the thing with Rodriguez is his speed. 23 stolen bases in 24 attempts in 19 games played as a Pony. The 1-0 from En, grounded in play over to short. Cowan fields and fires across the diamond. Past John McKillop over at first. Rodriguez takes the big turn and heads to second. Stallions get started on a defensive blunder from Amsterdam. Will Cowan, the shortstop, overthrows McKillop over at first, and the Ponies have a leadoff runner on scoring position.
And with the leadoff batter aboard at second, batter now, shortstop. Okay.
Rodriguez on second after the first error of the ballgame for either team. Will Cowan with the overthrow. So let's take a look at the rest of the Amsterdam Mohawks out defensive alignment. Luke Costello in left with Luke Filippi in center. Sebastian Harden in right. Jake Sparks at third. Will Cowan at short. Brandon McCrane making his season debut at second base with John McKillop over at first. Brett Rowell doing the catching and Chen En doing the pitching. Jamie Z now steps in. First pitch to him is bunted in play. It's rolling, and Rowell picks it up in fair territory. The throw over to first is just in time over there to nab the speedy Z. But Rodriguez moves up to third base with one out in the inning.
That was some productive baseball from the Stallions. Now we've got a runner 90 feet away in scoring position.
Rodriguez stands over at third base with Dylan Passo stepping up to the batter's box. Passo hits from the lefty side, first lefty for the Stallions to send up to the batter's box here today against Chen En. As a result of that, McKillop, the first baseman, and Sparks, the third baseman, are playing in on the grass to try and cut off Rodriguez coming home to score. First pitch misses low, and it gets behind Rowell. Rodriguez will walk home as a result, and it's 1-0 Ponies in the bottom of the first inning. Only 2 hitters into the inning. Luis Rodriguez, welcome back to the Stallions lineup. Finds a way on base, reaches because of the error from Cowan, takes third on the productive out from Jamie Z with the bunt, and comes around to score on the ball that got past the catcher Rowell. 1-0 Ponies, and they flipped the script from the last time these two teams played. Amsterdam took a 1-0 lead in the first inning. Last time these guys played right here at Cantine, where Amsterdam won 8-4. In the 10th meeting between these two teams. Passo is now in a 2-0 count, and this is a guy who's really doing a nice job of settling into the 3-hole. It's been about a week and a half now for Passo, where he's been hitting third in the Stallions lineup, doing a nice job for the Ponies. His batting average this season all the way up to 286 in 30 games as a Stallion. Pops this one foul. Sparks and Cowan running over the line, but it will run out of play. 4 strike 1. Stallions as a whole in the month of July have been really good, 13-4-1, but they've been shining at home, 8-1 during that time. They have a plus 23 run differential here at Cantine in the month of July, scoring about 6 runs per ball game. Already 1 to come across in the first. Passo dribbles this one just foul for strike 2. Last time Passo played, he was in the lineup, and he did a great job. He was on base 3 times, 2 walks, and a hit. He also came around to score 2 runs as well. Last time the Stallions played was an 8-7 victory against the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs right here at Cantine, where they used a 4-run 8th to take the victory. 3-2 count now on Passo. Payoff pitch fouled out of play, so we'll do it again. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out, 1 across in the inning. Luis Rodriguez led things off for the Ponies, came around to score on the pass ball after Jamie Z bunted him to third. Stallions take a 1-0 lead. They trailed the last game they played 2-1 after 1. First time they lead in the first inning in their last 6 ball games. Dertinger throws up a 0 in the top half. Passo now hitting in the bottom half, and he swings and misses for strike 3. First strikeout of the ball game for Chen En is of Dylan Passo swinging. 2 outs now in the inning. Pat Costin now steps in. He's the cleanup hitter for the Ponies. Back-to-back lefties against the right-hander out on the mound for Amsterdam. Costin is the extra hitter here today for the Stallions. First pitch from Chen En. Misses just slow in the zone. 1 ball and no strikes. Ronaldo Cochran, the home plate umpire, with John McGowan, the field umpire here at Cantine. On July 27th, just above 80 degrees. We had a couple minutes of rain delay before this game started, but no more rain in the forecast. Should be good to go the rest of the game. Costin takes his strike. It's 1-1. And this is a guy who's only playing in his 2nd game for the Stallions. Last time he played was against the Boonville Lumberjacks right here at home, where the Stallions walked it off 5-4, courtesy of a Dylan Passo sac fly to center that gave the Ponies the victory. Costin in that ball game was on base twice. He had 2 singles. And a hard line out to first. Takes low in the dirt. 2-1. Chen En set at the belt, kicks and fires. A strike in there on the inside corner for strike 2. And this is a guy who's been so reliable for Amsterdam out on the mound. Now 19 and a third innings pitched on the season. 22 strikeouts, just over a strikeout per inning for Amsterdam. One more strike here in the inning, and it's 2 back-to-back to end things. The kick and the pitch home to Costin is grounded over to second. Brandon McCrane fields and fires to first in time for out number 3 of the inning, but not before the Ponies take the lead. 1-0. Luis Rodriguez comes around to score on the pass ball from En, and the Stallions are going to the top half of the second, leading 1-0 from Canton. One out in the top of the second. We apologize, some technical difficulties on our end. All you missed was a pop out to first. Luke Costello popped out to the first baseman. Dylan Passo foul out of play on the first pitch of the inning, bringing up Brandon McCrane, number 5 hitter for the Amsterdam Mohawks. Dertinger faced the minimum in the top half. Stallions took the lead in the bottom half. 1 run on no hits, 1 error from the shortstop. Will Cowan allowed Rodriguez to reach. He was on second, and then a bunt from Jamie Z allowed him to reach third, with Rodriguez coming home to score on a pass ball 2 pitches later. Dertinger now ahead 0-2 on McCrane, second baseman for Amsterdam. First time all season where he's playing second base here tonight against the Stallions. The 0-2 pitch from Dertinger. Big breaking ball in the dirt. Strike 3. First strikeout of the night for Sean Dertinger is Brandon McCrane swinging. Now 2 outs in the inning on just 4 pitches. John McKillop, the first baseman, now stepping in. 2 outs against Sean Dertinger. First pitch from him is a strike on the inside corner. 5 strikes for Dertinger here in the inning. 2 outs as well. McKillop is the first baseman for Amsterdam. Steps in for his first plate appearance of the day. The pitch from Dertinger misses outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Dertinger on the season, he's been great for the Ponies. 14 innings pitched, 1.28 ERA comes into today, sporting that ERA, and now 13 strikeouts on the season. 1-1 pitch from Dertinger, misses upstairs, 2-1, but just like the Stallions we talked about in the bottom half of the first, the Amsterdam Mohawks are red hot in the month of July as well. They've played 18 games, won 14 of them, and have a plus 54 run differential here in the month of July. Both the Stallions and Mohawks here in the last calendar month have definitely separated themselves as the top 2 teams in the PGCBL East. Count now sits at 2-2 after the latest foul ball from McKillop. Amsterdam clinched first 2 days ago with an 11-1 victory over the Glens Falls Dragons, and the Stallions, with tomorrow's game against Glens Falls only being 1 game, Stallions have now clinched second place in the PGCBL East and will be taking on the Utica Blue Sox this coming Wednesday right here at Canton. McKillop lines this one out of play, so we'll do it again at 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs in the inning against John McKillop facing Sean Dertinger here in the top of the second. Dertinger into his motion, fires home in the dirt, low. Nice scoop by Baker behind home plate. So count now moves to full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. McKillop on the year, he's just completed his sophomore year at Army. This past spring just played first base for West Point. 3-2 pitch is popped out of play. 3 balls and 2 strikes still, but this summer for the Amsterdam Mohawks, he's played in 13 games. Good for a .263 batting average, 10 hits, and 38 ABs. And he's played against the Stallions now in 4 of the 11 matchups as well. This is a guy who hits in the middle of the lineup for head coach Keith Griffin. He hit as high as 3rd against the Stallions here tonight. He's hitting 6th behind Brandon McCrane. The 3-2 pitch from Dertinger popped in play. Long run for Z over at short. Coming in is Freitag as well, but it will be the shortstop, Jamie Z, to make the play just along the left field line here at Cantine. 1-2-3 inning for Dertinger. He's faced the minimum through the first 2. Ponies coming to bat.
Back.
Bottom of the second inning, Nick Zuppi alongside Bella Holler, and here in the backup broadcast booth, Sean Dertinger through the first 2 innings. He's faced the minimum 1 strikeout as well. That came here in the top of the second against Brandon McCrane, second baseman for Amsterdam, went down swinging on just 3 pitches, and all it took for Dertinger to retire the hitters 4, 5, 6 last inning was a total of 12. Got the first 2 guys on 5 pitches as well, before forcing a pop out to the shortstop Jamie Z from John McKillop. But on the other side, Stallions plated 1 run in their only inning on offense. That came from Luis Rodriguez doing what he does. He gets on, moves him over, and then they move him in as well. He scored on the pass ball when Dylan Passo was up, got to third base on the bunt from Jamie Z. But Logan Sanchez now steps in, 5-6-7 to up in the inning for the Ponies. Adonis Medina on deck and Casey Comiskey in the hole. First pitch is lined over to left. It's going to get down for a base hit. Costello goes off his glove. Sanchez will take the big turn and head back to first. Logan Sanchez now has a 3-game hitting streak and lines a single to left in his first AB of the game.
Last game, Logan Sanchez hit a home run over the fence of left field. So he's back to bring that pop again.
Sanchez had 2 hits as well. One of those was a big home run. Stallions needed it at the time. They were down 7-4. He had a 2-run homer that gave the Ponies a shot at winning. They would scratch across 2 more with Dylan Fitzsimmons having the go-ahead RBI double in the 8th inning that scored Casey Comiskey. The Stallions took the lead 8-7, and Jake Martino nailed it down in the 9th with a 1-2-3 inning, striking out the final 2 Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs in that one. Stallions were off yesterday. Here they are taking on the PGCBL East leaders, Amsterdam Mohawks. 0-1 count to Adonis Medina. Sanchez over at first. The pitch home to Medina is popped in play, and this one is going to get down for a base hit. Sanchez hits second. He's going to go for third. Medina will not go anywhere except for first, and runners on the corners for nobody out. Ponies are in action against Chen En.
And we've got a base runner 90 feet from making that 2-0 in the bottom of the second.
Logan Sanchez over at third. Back-to-back singles for the Ponies here in the inning against Kai Chen En, formerly known as Endy Kai, making his first start of the summer here in 2025. But this is a guy who's been really good out of the bullpen for head coach Keith Griffin. He came into today, 18 2/3 innings pitched, a 3.38 ERA. But the Ponies are doing what the Ponies do. They hit against the Amsterdam Mohawks. Their problem is driving in runs. They've left over 100 men on base in the first 10 matchups between these two teams, just about a little more than 10 per game as well. Runners on the corners, nobody out. Casey Comiskey steps in. First pitch to him is popped in play, and it's going to get over the head of McKillop. McCrane fields at second, and he's going to go the long way. Medina slides in safely, and that allows Logan Sanchez to come in to score. 2-0 Pony, still nobody out in the inning. Adonis Medina advances to second on the error for McCrane.
And the Ponies are hot this early in the game. Hopefully they can keep that momentum.
Casey Comiskey with the bleeder over McKillop's head at first. He picks up an RBI. Now it's Casey Comiskey is one of the Stallions players that's been arguably the hottest hitter in the PGCBL. First 13 games for him, a 130 batting average now. In 20 games since, it's all the way up to above 300, this being game number 36 as a Stallion. George Baker now steps in, the number 8 hitter for the Ponies here tonight. Was not in the lineup 2 days ago against the Diamond Dogs, but here he is tonight. Big lefty from Louisville. First pitch home to Baker is in there for strike one. Last time Baker played was when the Stallions mercied the Oneonta Outlaws up at Damaski Field. Baker was 0 for 3 with a run scored and an RBI as well. But the swing of the night for Baker was a home run foul against starting pitcher Martin Thorsland. The 0-1 home, and it's off Baker's leg, allowing him to reach first and the other two runners to move up 90 feet as well. That loads the bases for the left fielder, John Freitag. Stallions as a whole have a completely new lineup for today than they did 2 days ago. 5 players in the lineup today are not in the lineup. Were not in the lineup 2 days ago. Bases loaded, nobody out. John Freitag steps in for his first plate appearance. No arm in the Amsterdam bullpen either. This is Chen En all the way, and he misses upstairs. Ronaldo Cochran behind home plate says no. 1 ball and no strikes.
In the 2025 season, the Stallions have had 107 left on base, and bases are loaded right now with 0 outs. Hopefully John Freitag can send 1 home.
Corners are in as a result of that as well. Force at any base, including home. The 1-0 pitch home is outside 2-0. The Stallions, like you just said, Bella, have less 25 more runners on base than Amsterdam. Big reason for that is they've been out hitting the Mohawks. They average just about 4 hits more per ball game than the PGCBL East squad. They just need to find ways to drive home runs. This is now the 8th time they've had the bases loaded in the last 3 games against the Mohawks. Looking to cash in here early to give Sean Dertinger a crooked number to work with in the top half. 2-0 misses upstairs. It's now 3-0. Nowhere to put Freitag with the bases juiced. Freitag, another guy who didn't play 2 days ago against the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs. Last time that Freitag was in the lineup was against these Amsterdam Mohawks, where he was 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, a hit by pitch, and a walk. The 3-0 is in there for strike 1. Freitag today playing left. Andrew Ray on deck. Those two round out the order with the top of the order and Luis Rodriguez. After Andrew Ray, the second baseman for the Stallions here today. 3 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Stallions have already scratched across 1 in the inning, but looking for more. Medina over at third, Comiskey at second, George Baker over at first. The 3-1 pitch home is upstairs, ball 4. Chen En doesn't know where he missed, but Ronaldo Cochran says up. 3-0 Ponies, and there's still a great opportunity for them to do some damage. Bases loaded and nobody out. With Andrew Ray stepping in, number 10 hitter for the Saugerties Stallions, the Amsterdam Mohawks pitching coach is going to go out and have a quick word with the right-hander, Kai Chen En. Thus far in the ball game, he's given up 3 runs on 2 hits. No walks for him, but the Stallions have hit him around a little bit. hasn't gotten great help from his defense either. A couple soft singles in the inning. Casey Comiskey had one that scored a run for the Ponies. The Stallions have a great opportunity to put up a crooked number here early against these Amsterdam Mohawks. Last time they trailed 5-1 after the first 3 innings and really were trying to play catch up all game long. But the number for them in that ball game, that's the fans at home need to know, 16 runners left on base. They out-hit Amsterdam 11-10 the last time these two teams played right here at Cantine just 4 days ago. But they had 11 more runners left on base. Andrew Ray with a great opportunity to drive in some runs. Casey Comiskey over at third, George Baker over at second, and John Freitag at first after he just drew the bases loaded walk. Mound visit is over and end misses low. 1 ball and no strikes.
This could be a dangerous situation for the Mohawks. We've got Luis Rodriguez on deck, so if Andrew Ray can put one down, we've got the top of the lineup coming up.
Rodriguez on deck with Jamie Z in the hole for the Ponies. Still nobody out in the inning. Stallions have already been through the lineup one time. Everyone's hit in the ball game for the Ponies. Andrew Ray, number 10 in the lineup. Last time he played was against the Amsterdam Mohawks, and in the second inning, he had an RBI single, the lone run in the ball game for the Ponies in the first 3 innings. It's another opportunity driving a run here early. Has to get out of the way. Count now moves to 2-0. Ray on the season is still one of the newer faces for the Ponies fans. This is only game number 4, and the Rhode Island product has 2 hits in his first 10 at-bats. One of those was the last time he played, like we mentioned earlier, an RBI single against these Amsterdam Mohawks. The 2-0 pitch home. Misses inside 3-0, and just like the batter before to John Freitag, 3-0 count with the bases loaded and nobody out, nowhere to put Ray. And the top of the order is on deck for the Ponies. Nope, still no arm warming in the bullpen for the Amsterdam Mohawks either. Head coach Keith Griffin gonna let Kai Chen and roll it out. He fires in a strike, 3-1 count now for Andrew Ray, the Rhode Island product. This season in 3 games for the Ponies, he only has 1 RBI. It's a great opportunity to make it 2-3 with a ball to the outfield. Casey Comiskey over at third, George Baker at second, John Freitag over at first. The 3-1 pitch home to Ray. Fastball on the outside corner. Count now is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Stallions have already scored 2 in the inning, but looking for the big hit that will give them more than 1 run on 1 swing. Bases loaded, nobody out. Casey Comiskey had an RBI single 3 batters before, and John Freitag walked the batter before Ray to force in a run. Payoff pitch from N is a swing and a miss. 4 strike 3. His first out of the inning is a strikeout of Andrew Ray, swinging, second strikeout of the ball game, and a big out number 1 here with the top of the order rolling around for the Ponies.
I guess whatever pitching coach said to the pitcher had to work, because first strikeout of the game for the Mohawks.
That is of Andrew Ray swinging here in the second inning. Luis Rodriguez steps in. Back-to-back innings where he's hit. He takes outside 1-0. Rodriguez, before the inning started, was the lone run of the ballgame for the Stallions. He would reach on an error from the shortstop, Will Cowan. He then was advanced to third on a bunt from Jamie Z and scored 2 pitches after that on a pass ball that got behind the catcher, Brent Rowell. Base is still juiced. Stallion looking for a crooked number. Rodriguez lines this one in play. Cowan over the second baseman, McCrane over to first, not in time. Luis Rodriguez shows his speed, and the Stallions needed it because that double play would have ended the inning. But Casey Comiskey comes around to score run number 3 of the inning and run number 4 of the ball game for the Ponies. They now lead 4-0 after the RBI fielder's choice from Rodriguez. First RBI for Rodriguez in nearly a month, this being his first start since June 25th. In 19 games in the month of June, he had 5 RBIs, picks up number 6 in his second game in the month of July. Slides back safely as Chen En checks on him over at first. He's got great speed over there at first base, 23 stolen bags in 19 games played as a Stallion. George Baker still over at third. With 2 outs in the inning, Jamie Z steps in for his second plate appearance in back-to-back innings. Pitch home from N with Rodriguez going away at first. Throw is cut off by McCrane, and Baker will come around to score. 5-0 Ponies. Rodriguez steals second. Rowell doesn't get him. 5-0.
And Baker comes in to score on the 5th run for the Ponies.
5-0 Ponies. Last time these two teams played, they couldn't really find ways to drive in runs. 16 of them left on base. They actually out-hit Amsterdam 11-10, but so far here today, 5 runs to their first inning and 2/3 on offense. Pitch home to Jamie Z is grounded over to third. Sparks fields and throws across the diamond, past the diving McKillop at first. Rodriguez hits third and will come in to score. Throw allows Jamie Z to hit second base as well. 2 errors in the ballgame for the Amsterdam defense, and now it's 6 runs for the Stallions on offense.
All team puts up a Kirby number here so far in the second inning. Making the plate, first baseman, Dylan Passo.
Stallions have sent every hitter in the lineup but 2. Dylan Passo and Pat Costin still yet to hit in the inning, but Dylan Passo steps in here against Chen En. 2 outs, runner on second. Stallions have plated 5 runs in the inning. Jamie Z over at second after he just reached by way of an error from the third baseman, Jake Sparks. Chen En misses outside, 1-0 on the fastball. Passo struck out back in the first inning. 2 strikeouts for Chen En here in the ball game. Passo, the first baseman for the Ponies, was in the lineup 2 days ago against the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs. The 1-0 home from Chen En is fouled off at the plate, off the foot of the first baseman for the Stallions. 1-1 count. This summer, Dylan Passo has been one of the main RBI men for the Ponies here in the summer of 2025. 14 runs batted in and 30 games played as a Pony. The couple guys that have gone home for the summer, they really need Passo to drive in some runs. Justin Ford at 31 before he went home. Travis Hobbins-Siefkin, 28 before he went home. Passo is still one of those guys left in the lineup that can drive in runs for the Ponies and has a golden opportunity. Nubs this one in play. Chen En will field on the mound, throw it over to McKillop at first in time for out number 3 in the inning. But the Stallions put up a 5-spot. Benefit from an error defensively from Amsterdam, as well as 2 hits in the inning. 6-0 Ponies against the PGCBL East leading Amsterdam Mohawks when we come back. Welcome back to Cantine. Top of the third inning. Stallions put up a 5 spot in the bottom half, but here in the top half of the third, it's Dallas Hot Wieners' call to the bullpen, and they call to the southpaw. Ryan Franklin now towing the stab for the Ponies. Misses upstairs to Sebastian Harden, 1-0 count. For Amsterdam, they got 7, 8, 9 due up here in the inning, but going back over to Franklin this year, he's pitched 5 times for the Ponies. He's done pretty well. Misses upstairs in back-to-back pitches. It's now 2-0. This season for Franklin, 15 innings pitched, 9 earned runs, a 5.4 ERA, and this is a guy who's going to rely on his defense. Only 5 strikeouts in that time as well, as Harden grounds this one foul for strike 1. Sean Dertinger now out of the ballgame, and he was great for the Stallions. For the first 2, he had only faced the minimum, gave up 1 hit, and that was to Luke Filippi to lead off the ballgame, but then had a double play in the following AB from Brent Rowell. Out replaced him, and Harden lines this one down the left field line. He will hit first and go for 2. The throw from Freitag out and left is cut off by Z, and it's a leadoff double for Harden to start things off in the third.
Now that is shortstop,
Will Cowan now steps in against Ryan Franklin, and this is a guy who was pitching consistently for the Ponies, and then over the last month of July, he's only pitched 1 time, and that came against these Amsterdam Mohawks in the 5-5 tie up at Shuttleworth Park, where he threw an inning and a third clean. No hits, no runs, no walks. For him, out of the bullpen, here now facing Will Cowan, the shortstop for Amsterdam. Stepping in with Sebastian Harden over at second. Cowan squares the bunt and will take the ball. 1-0. A little bit of a shorter leash for Sean Dertinger here today, the right-hander for the Stallions. It's his shortest start of the season. He hadn't had a start of fewer than 4 innings all year through the first 3, but here today only 2. 1-0 pitch is in there for strike 1 against Cowan. Shortstop for Amsterdam this season has been very consistent for the Mohawks all summer long. .262 batting average in 28 games played out of the team's 41 here in the summer of 2025. Franklin set at the belt. Fires home the breaking ball that it's spiked in the dirt. 2-1 count on Cowan. Last time these two teams played, Cowan was not in the lineup. At short, it was Chris Holcraft. For Amsterdam, Holcraft and Touchstone not in the lineup. Those 2 guys are the 2 best hitters for Amsterdam. Holcraft comes into today as a top 3 candidate in the PGCBL East for MVP, and Touchstone is the leader in the MVP category as well. Franklin spikes the fastball. It gets by Baker, allowing Harden to reach third with nobody out in the inning. Stallions in the bottom half of the second put up the crooked number that they've been waiting for against Amsterdam. 5 runs on 2 hits. 1 error helped them as well. It started with Logan Sanchez, the number 5 hole hitter in the lineup, and ended with Dylan Passo, who hits third. Stallions sent 9 hitters to the batter's box last inning, as Baker wants a quick word with Franklin after the miscommunication on the previous pitch. Three balls, 1 strike. Nobody out in the inning. Ryan Franklin newly entered here in the third. Sean Dertinger got the first 2 innings of just no run ball as Cowan swings and misses. And that was a big swing. Cowan looking to bring in Harden over at third. Nobody out in the inning. 3-2 count now on Cowan from short. Peyton Jemison on deck for Amsterdam. Payoff pitch from Franklin. Popped up foul along the right side. The first baseman, Passo, has the best look on it. Here comes the right fielder, Medina, and it will land foul. So we'll do it again at 3 balls and 2 strikes. With Ryan Franklin towing the slab against Will Cowan here in the top of the third inning. Last time these 2 teams played here at Cantine, the Mohawks scored 5 runs in the first 3 innings, 1 in the first, 3 in the second, and 1 in the third. To this point in the ball game, scoreless, only 2 hits. One of them against Ryan Franklin, the other against starter Sean Dertinger. Cowan bleeds this one in play. Rodriguez in center has a beat on it. Makes the catch, gets ready to throw. Here it is, and it's a little up the line and away from the catcher. Baker, sac fly for Cowan, puts Amsterdam on the board. It's now 6-1.
Sac fly to center field gets the first run across for the Amsterdam Mohawks here. One away, your batter to EH, which is team Peyton Jemison.
Peyton Jemison, the extra hitter for Amsterdam, steps in. Mohawks going with the extra hitter here today for a team that doesn't really do that as much as others. Jemison swings and misses for strike 1. Last time these two teams played, the Mohawks only used 9. Here today, Jemison gets a look against now Ryan Franklin towing the slab for the Ponies. The 0-1 pitch, and he's hit on the foot. One out base runner for Amsterdam after Harden doubled and just scored on the Will Cowan sac fly. Bringing up the designated hitter, DJ Wallace.
Now batting,
DJ Wallace playing in his game number 5 for the Amsterdam Mohawks. Originally, the designated hitter was pitcher Zach Hernandez. He has been since scratched, and Wallace is going to hit for him here in the 3rd inning. This is the first plate appearance for the 10th hole hitter as well. So Hernandez, even though he was scratched in the starting lineup, did not get an AB. Wallace now hitting against Ryan Franklin with Jemison, over at first. First pitch home to Wallace, misses upstairs 1-0. This season, the designated hitter has only had 2 at-bats all summer long for Amsterdam. No hits yet for him. He has been on base once. He did walk. Now takes upstairs. It's 2-0. Franklin misses low in the dirt, and it gets by Baker behind the dish as well, allowing Jemison to reach second. And 2 of the last 3 hitters now for Amsterdam have been in scoring position for the Mohawks. Three balls and no strikes against Wallace. The kick and the pitch home from Franklin is in there for strike 1. One of Franklin's 3 starts here in the summer of 2025 did come against the Amsterdam Mohawks up at Shuttleworth Park as he gets a strike on the foul ball from Wallace. He pitched in game number 2 at Shuttleworth, where the Stallions won 6-2, and pitched the first 5 innings. He did a very nice job as well, only allowed 4 hits, 1 earned run. He had 1 strikeout to go along with it as well. Here in the 3rd, it's been a little bit of a different story. Gave up a double and then a sac fly to go along with the hit by pitch. Now pitching to Wallace in a full count. Fires home, and it's put in play up the middle. Jamie Z at short fields, bobbles it, and will not throw over to first. No choice for him but to eat it. And now it's runners on the corners with 1 out. With the top of the order rolling around, Luke Filippi stepping in. First error of the ball game for the Stallions, and that now makes it 4 straight games where the Stallions defense has committed an error. Jemison over at 3rd. He reached by the hit by pitch. DJ Wallace over at first. He just reached on the error from Z at short. Luke Filippi now steps in. He had a single back off Sean Dertinger to start off the ball game. Now facing Franklin for the first time and flies this one out of play. 4 strike 1. Filippi was tagged out trying to go from first to second when Brett Rowell, who's on deck from the Amsterdam Mohawks, grounded one to the second baseman Andrew Ray for the 4-3 double play that got Dertinger out of the inning. The 0-1 home from Franklin. Big swing and a miss on the fastball. 0-2 on Filippi. This season, Luke Filippi has done a nice job of setting the table for the Mohawks. A .420 on-base percentage. As the leadoff man here, he has an opportunity to drive in some runs. The 0-2 pitch misses way upstairs. Baker snap throw down to first is a little bit offline. Sliding back safely is Wallace over at first. Count now moves to 1-2 after Franklin sails the fastball up and away. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. 1 run already across for the Amsterdam Mohawks and a sac fly from Cowan that scored Hardin. Franklin misses low in the dirt. It's now 2-2.
That would have been a big out for the Stallions if that throw was a little bit more on the inside of that.
2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch from Franklin. Fastball lined into left center. Gonna get down for extra bases. Walking home is Jemison over at third. Wallace gets the stop sign from third base coach for Amsterdam. RBI double for Luke Filippi. It's 6-2 here in the top of the third.
We've got 2 players in scoring positions with only 1 out on the board.
Brett Rowell now steps in with 2 runners in scoring position. Luke Filippi, the RBI extra base hit. Rowell 0 for 1 here today, but now hitting against a southpaw for the first time in the ball game. He hit against Sean Dertinger in the first, who started and went the first 2 innings. Franklin here in the third has already allowed 2 runs to come across. First pitch to Rowell was popped up out of play. 4 strike 1. On the season, the 0-1 pitch from Franklin, nubbed foul to the screen behind home plate. 0-2. 6-2 ball game. Hits are 3-2 in favor of Amsterdam. Stallions plated 5 runs in the bottom half of the second. They only had 2 hits. Couple of walks, couple of errors as well in the inning helped the Stallions plate across 5. Amsterdam has responded, scoring 2 already. The 0-2 pitch misses low in the dirt. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Brett Rowell, who last time up we were talking about a little bit earlier when Filippi was up. He hit into a double play. The second baseman, Ray, tagged Filippi and threw it over the first for 2 outs in the inning. Sean Dertinger would get out of it with a pop-up to the shortstop, Jamie Z. The batter after him. The 1-2 pitch from Franklin misses outside. 2-2. Both of these teams were off yesterday. The Mohawks did not have a game, and the Stallions traveled to Yankee Stadium, got to watch them take on the Phillies. The Yankees were defeated 9-4. It was still a great time for everyone. The interns got to go as well. The 2-2 pitch from Franklin lined into left for a base hit. Wallace scores. Filippi stops at third. 6-3 Mohawks, top of the third inning. Runners on the corners for Jake Sparks coming up.
Now that's 2 runs in a row that were scored due to a blooper in left field. Just that gap maybe needs to close up.
Back-to-back RBI hits will bring out the pitching coach, Prax Vigil, for the Stallions, who did celebrate a birthday yesterday, July 26th. But speaking of birthdays, I got to give a shout out to my dad back at home, July 27th. Happy birthday, Pops. Thanks for everything you do for me. Really appreciate all the support you've given me over the years. Sorry I couldn't be there to spend your special day with you. But I love you, miss you. Thanks for supporting me along my way and everything I do. So hopefully when I get to come home in a couple days when the season wraps up, we can celebrate it pretty good, if that's all right with you. But love you, miss you. I'll be home soon. Happy birthday, Dad. Mound visit is over. Prax Vigil coming back to the dugout. Mohawks have already scored 3 runs in the inning on 3 hits. Luke Filippi an RBI double. Brett Rowell an RBI single brings up Jake Sparks with runners on the corners and only 1 out in the inning. First pitch to Sparks from Franklin is flied out into left field. Freitag has a beat on it. Behind it, makes the catch. Filippi tags at third. Freitag will throw to second, keeping Brett Rowell over at first, but Jake Sparks has a productive out, an RBI sac fly. It's now 3 straight at-bats for Amsterdam where they've scored a run. 6-4 in favor of the Stallions.
I mean, this is a 2-run ball game at this point.
6-4. Ryan Franklin comes on here in the third, and he's allowed 4 runs on 3 hits, 2 sac flies in the inning as well. Jake Sparks with the more recent one, and Will Cowan hits second in the inning. His scored Sebastian Harden. Here in the third, misses low in the dirt, 1-0 against the cleanup man, Lou Costello, the left fielder for Amsterdam. Last time he was up was against starting pitcher Sean Dertinger back in the second inning where he popped up foul to the first baseman Dylan Passo, who made the nice play right next to the Amsterdam Mohawk dugout. The 1-0 home misses way inside. Costello lunges out of the way. It's now 2-0 with 2 outs in the inning. Both outs have been productive ones for the Mohawks here in the inning. 2 sac flies like we just alluded to. Sparks and Cowan doing the job for Amsterdam. Costello is batter number 7 to hit in the inning for the Mohawks as he lined this one. Foul for strike 1. 2-1 count with 2 outs. Top of the third inning. Brett Rowell over at first. He had an RBI single in the inning as well. Luke Costello 0-for-1 at this point in the ball game. Stallions score 6 in the bottom half of the second. Amsterdam responds with a 4 spot of their own. Top of the third inning, 6-4. Still in favor of the Stallions. Ryan Franklin desperately needs to get out of this inning. The 2-1 pitch home, grounded in play over to third. Comiskey fields and will go across the diamond to first. In time for out number 3, but not before the Mohawks come back into this ball game. It's 6-4. They score 4 runs on 3 hits. 6-4 when we come back from Canton.
Mine. Ready?
Bottom of the third inning from Kansai. Nick Zuppi alongside Bella Holleran. Here in the Pac-Cub broadcast booth, July 27th, 2025. The Stallions taking on the Mohawks. For the 11th and final time of the regular season, these two teams are 1-2. In the PGCBL East, the Mohawks clinched the number 1 overall spot for the 13th straight season, all under head coach Keith Griffin. They have yet to not be the number 1 overall seed in the East when head coach Keith Griffin is the manager for the Mohawks. But in the top half of the third, Amsterdam responds. It's what they do. They scored 4 runs after the Stallions played at 5 in the bottom half of the second. Mohawks scored 4 runs on 3 hits. An error from the shortstop Jamie Z helped them as well. But the Ponies come to bat now in what has turned into a 2-run ball game, 6-4 with 4-5-6-2 up in the inning. Pat Costin leading things off against Kai Chen En, and he starts him off with a ball. 1-0 count against the right-hander for Amsterdam, who so far here today has allowed 6 runs, but only on 2 hits. Amsterdam has an error in each inning as well. The 1-0 home. Costin bleeds this one over to the third baseman. Sparks throws across the diamond in time for out number 1 on 2 pitches here in the bottom of the third. Costin was the only guy in the lineup who did not hit in the bottom half of the second inning for the Stallions. They sent 9 batters to the box last inning, where they scored 5 runs on 2 hits, 1 error, like we alluded to earlier. Logan Sanchez was the man who started that big inning, lining a single on the first pitch he saw from Chen En over to left, and would come around to score on a walk from John Freitag. First pitch to Sanchez is on the outside corner for strike 1. This season, Logan Sanchez has been one of the most consistent players on this Stallions team. He's been here since the first week of the season. He's done a great job. .268 batting average in 24 games played as a Stallion. Now down in the count, 0-2. The designated hitter for the Ponies had his first home run of the season in their last game 2 days ago against the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs. A 2-run shot. First of the season. The 0-2 pitch from Chen En just misses on the outside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I mean, hopefully Sanchez can start that momentum he had last inning to keep more runs on the board. I mean, it's a tight ball game, 6-4.
And that's all because Amsterdam scored 4 runs in the top half off Ryan Franklin, who came in relief of starting pitcher Sean Dertinger. Sanchez flies this one. It's just going to get out of play and out of the reach of the third baseman, Jake Sparks, for Amsterdam. Pony starter Sean Dertinger, through the first 2 innings, he faced the minimum, only gave up 1 hit. He had 1 strikeout to go along with it of Brandon McCrane swinging in the second. But Franklin comes in the third and allows 4 runs on 3 hits against the Amsterdam Mohawks for a team that averages just about 7 runs per ball game in the PGCBL here in the summer of 2025. The 1-2 pitch from En is lined into right field. Coming on is Hardin. He dives and makes the play out in right field, robbing Sanchez of a hit. Good swing from Sanchez, but an even better play from Hardin. 2 outs in the inning. Adonis Medina now steps in. He's the right fielder for the Stallions after the right fielder for the Mohawks. Sebastian Hardin lays out and robs Sanchez of a hit. That would have been his second of the ball game, but he flew out instead. 1-for-2 line with a run scored for Sanchez. Medina steps in for his second plate appearance against Chen En and just lines this one foul down the line. 0-1 count. Medina had a single back in the last inning. He was second hit of the inning, and the last one as well. It was a bleeder over the first baseman's head. John McKillop for Amsterdam. He came around to score in the inning as well. Stallions would plate 5. Already 2 here in the bottom of the 2 outs in the bottom of the third. 1-1 count now on Medina. One pitch from En. Big swing and a miss. Strike 2. To this point in the ball game, Chen En has 2 strikeouts. One of Dylan Passo swinging in the first, and one of Andrew Ray swinging in the second. Pat Costin here in the third, grounded out to third. Logan Sanchez flew out to right. 1-2 count on Medina. And he lines this one in play. Cowan fields on the backhand, throws high. McKillop jumps and lands on the bag, but after Medina hits first, it's a second error of the ballgame on the Amsterdam shortstop. 3rd total here in the first 3 innings, and Medina's on board with 2 outs.
Third baseman,
Casey Comiskey now steps in for his second plate appearance. He was in the middle of that 5-run inning. Last inning in the second, he had an RBI on a fielder's choice and would come around to score as well. This is a guy who's been in the middle of the Stallions offense all month long. Medina goes away from first, pitches inside. Rowell's throw down is offline. Medina slides in safely for the Stallions' second stolen base of the game.
And now we've got a base runner in scoring position.
Medina over at second. Stallions stealing bases has been a theme all summer long. They lead the PGCBL in that category with 134. They average just about 3 per game. Here already 2. Rodriguez stole last inning in the second, and Medina now steals in the third. 2 out, RBI opportunity for Casey Comiskey in a 1-0 count against Chen En. Kicks and fires home, lined right at the third baseman. Sparks for out number 3. Stallions had a 2-out base runner in scoring position, but he is stranded there after 3 innings of play. Stallions and Mohawks, 6-4 score when we come back.
Ready?
Welcome back to Canton. Nick Zuppi alongside Bella Holleran. 6-4 ball game. Stallions scored 5 runs in the second. Amsterdam responds with 4 runs last inning in the third. Ponies put up a 0 in the bottom half, top of the fourth, with Brandon McCrane leading things off now in an 0-1 count against Southpaw Ryan Franklin.
Brandon McCrane went out swinging on his last at-bat for a big K.
Swinging here, chops one over to third. Comiskey fields across the diamond, spikes in the dirt. Second error of the ball game now for the Ponies. And that's not Casey Comiskey over there. He's at shortstop. Jamie Z has been taken out of the ball game, and that's Mike Lebinson playing third base now for the Ponies. So Lebinson will be hitting in the 2-hole, playing third, with Comiskey moving from the hot corner to the captain into the infield, the shortstop position, where he's really shown his versatility. Comiskey's played all over the infield for the Ponies. Short, second, third, and first. Played everywhere but catcher. Nobody out and 1 on. Franklin misses upstairs, 1-0 count. On the 6-hole hitter, John McKillop, the Army West Point product. So far in the ball game, popped out to short, which was Jamie Z, back in the second inning that ended that half inning as well. Franklin misses. It's 2-0 count on the fastball. Been a sloppy game so far between these two teams. It's now 5 total errors, 3 for Amsterdam and 2 for the Ponies, only in the top of the 4th inning. Franklin fires in a strike. It's now a 2-1 count. Long hold from Franklin out of the mound. Finally kicks home and fires in a strike. That's put in play. Comiskey fields on the short hop. Ray at second. Over to first. In time. 6-4-3 double play. Nice play from Casey Comiskey. Moves over a little bit to the right now, playing short. Fields the short hop. in and turns it with second baseman Andrew Ray. 2 outs on 1 pitch, a Ryan Franklin specialty, since he doesn't really rely on the strikeout as much as other Stallions, but doing so effectively here in the 4th. 2 outs with Sebastian Harden stepping up. Harden takes ball 1 against Franklin. He hit against Franklin last inning. He was the first guy to face the southpaw and hit him good. He had a double down the line. He would come around to score in the inning as well, and is now on base in both plate appearances against Franklin. Hit by pitch in the 4th, bringing up Will Cowan, the shortstop.
Now batting, shortstop, Will Cowan.
Second hit by pitch of the ball game for Ryan Franklin. Last inning, he nailed Peyton Jemison, who then came around to score as well. 1 of 4 runs for Amsterdam. In the top of the 3rd, so far for Amsterdam, 3 guys have come up, 2 have been out. First pitch home to Cowan, lined up the middle, and diving is Comiskey, but it goes over his glove. Harden will stop at second base. Will Cowan stops at first, and it's a 2-out single, putting Sebastian Harden in scoring position for Peyton Jemison, the extra hitter, in a 6-4 ball game.
Now batting PH, Peyton Jemison.
I mean, last at bat was that first hit by pitch, so.
Harden over at second base after he reached by way of that hit by pitch. Cowan at first. Peyton Jemison steps in for his second plate appearance, and he's a guy who was hit by a pitch as well. We talked about a little earlier, Franklin has now hit 2 Amsterdam Mohawks to this point in the ballgame. Starts off Jemison with strike 1 on the foul ball off the foot of the home plate umpire, Ronaldo Cochran, here at Cantine. Franklin set at the belt. Fires home and spikes a fastball. Nice stop by Baker behind the dish to keep the runners where they are. Franklin totally lost command of that pitch, but Baker makes the nice play behind the plate to keep it in front. 1-1 count with 2 outs. Sebastian Harden over at second. Will Cowan over at first. Amsterdam yet to score in the inning, but have a prime run scoring opportunity here. Back-to-back innings now where they've had a runner in scoring position after in the first 2 they did not. Harden going from second to third, and Jemison lines this one out to left, but perfectly placed his fry tag in left field for out number 3. Couple allowed outs in the inning, but Franklin does the job. He puts up a 0 in the top half of the 4th. 6-4 still to score when we go to the bottom half. Bottom of the fourth, and it's a Dallas Hot Wieners call to the bullpen for Amsterdam after they don't score in the top half. Manny Santos now towing the slab for the Amsterdam Mohawks. That officially closes the book on starting pitcher Kai Chen-en through the first 3 innings. He only gave up 2 hits, but for him, 6 runs as well, 5 of those being earned. The defense behind him didn't really help him out. They had an error in each inning that he pitched. And Chen-en also had a walk and 2 strikeouts as well. George Baker leads things off for the Ponies. 8, 9, 10 due up in the inning against Santos. And this is a guy who's pitched 10 times for the Amsterdam Mohawks and has a 9.9 ERA. Misses with the first pitch. Throws a strike against Baker for pitch number 1. Santos fires in another strike to Baker. This season, right-hander for Amsterdam, 10 innings pitched, averages an inning per appearance, giving up 16. He has 16 strikeouts and 11 walks. Baker lines this one down the right field line. Loud swing from the Louisville product. He hits first and looking for 2. George Baker will stop at second on the stand-up double. Lead-off extra base hit for the Ponies. First extra base hit of the ballgame for the Stallions is George Baker for John Freitag coming up next. Baker has now been on base in both times. He was hit by a pitch and scored in the 5-run second inning for the Ponies. Freitag was also on base. He had an RBI bases loaded walk against Chen-en, the only walk of the ballgame for the right-hander for Amsterdam. Santos now 2 pitches into his outing has to work with a runner out on scoring position. Freitag steps in and bleeds one foul for strike 1. A 0-1 count. You're in the bottom of the 4th inning. The kick home to Freitag misses low in the dirt, 1-1. In the top half of the inning, Stallions put up a 0. Southpaw Ryan Franklin has pitched the 3rd and 4th. He's given up 4 runs on 4 hits to go along with 2 walks and 2 hit by pitches as well. Looks like the Stallions are going to have a new pitcher in the top half. Right-hander Marciano Neglia has been warming for the Ponies the last about 10 minutes or so. Looks like Marciano's coming in to pitch in the top half of the 5th. Freitag hitting in the bottom of the 4th. Takes outside from Santos. It's now 2-1 on the Villanova product. Freitag was not in the lineup 2 days ago against the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs. The last time he played was against these Amsterdam Mohawks right here at Cantine, where he was 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts looking, but was on base twice, had a walk and a hit by pitch. The 2-1 home, line just over us here in the Patco broadcast booth at Cantine, foul for strike 2. It's a prime reason why our PA guy here at Cantine, Rob Vanderbeck, brings his glove to every game. He's ready. Two balls, 2 strikes, nobody out in the inning. George Baker started things off with a loud double down the right field line. His 4th double of the season in game number 15 as a Stallion. Brings up John Freitag in a 2-2 count against newly entered Manny Santos, pitching for the 11th time this season here in the summer of 2025. The pitch home, just inside. Freitag, good discipline, does not expand his zone with 2 strikes, takes the fastball. Count now full, 3-2. Andrew Ray on deck, the second baseman for the Ponies, struck out swinging when the bases were loaded in the 2nd. First base is open after the double to Baker, so a walk would not be the worst thing in the world for Santos. The payoff pitch put in play over to the left side. Sparks fields, brings Baker back to second, and the throw goes past McKillop at first base. Baker will stop at third. Freitag stops at second on the second error of the ball game for third baseman Jake Sparks. 2 for him, and now 2 for the shortstop Cowan. 4 blunders defensively for Amsterdam, all coming from the left side of the infield. That gives the Stallions a golden opportunity to get some runs back after Amsterdam scored 4 in the top half of the third. Runners on second and third for Andrew Ray, who's hitting 10th for the Ponies here tonight. Corners are now in for the Mohawks. Sparks at third, McKillop at first. Step or two in front of the lip of the grass here at Cantine, with Andrew Ray stepping in. First pitch to Ray, and he's plunked in the back. First time Ray's on base today. And that sets up the Ponies with the bases loaded and nobody out for the top of the order. Luis Rodriguez coming up to hit here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Now it's the second inning where the Stallions have had the bases loaded. The last time they did was in the 5-run second. And Bella, we talked about it a little bit earlier on in that inning. Stallions, last time they played the Amsterdam Mohawks, they really needed to drive in runs.
I mean, yeah, Amsterdam had 5 left on base, and Stallions had 16. I mean, I'm not that great at math, but that's like, I don't even know the number, but there's a lot.
11 more for the Ponies.
11.
And that's something that they need to correct. They've corrected it so far here in the ball game. Took advantage of the bases loaded opportunity, and Rodriguez looking to do the same thing here in the 4th. First pitch home to him is a breaking ball that is dropped by Rowell at home plate for ball 1. Same defensive philosophy for the Amsterdam Mohawks here with the bases loaded. Corners in, McKillop at first, Sparks at third, with the middle playing double play depth against Luis Rodriguez. The 1-0 from Santos. Smoking fastball on the outside corner for strike 1. Rodriguez, to this point in the ball game, has been on base twice. He scored 2 runs as well. In the first, he reached on an error from the shortstop Cowan. In the second, he hit with the bases loaded and grounded into an RBI fielder's choice. The 1-1 home. Rodriguez swings and misses, goes chasing out of the zone for strike 2. Last time the Stallions had him loaded in that second inning, bases loaded when there were nobody out. Andrew Ray went down swinging. This time he's on first, and Rodriguez is in a 2-strike count with nobody out and the base is full of Ponies. Rodriguez steps out. Santos on the season has 16 strikeouts for Amsterdam. This is a golden opportunity to pick up number 1 in an inning where he desperately needs it. John Freitag reached on an error from the third baseman Sparks. That makes Santos having to work that much more hard against the Stallions offense. The 1-2 home, Leiden play, diving is the second baseman McCraneville, got through for a base hit. Rodriguez knocks in run number 7 of the ball game. George Baker comes around to score after he started things with a double. It's 7-4 Ponies, and the bases are still loaded with nobody out.
And that's exactly what the Stallions needed. They needed to start that momentum, and hopefully Mike Levinson up to bat can keep this momentum with bases still full of Ponies.
Mike Levinson steps in for his first plate appearance of the ball game. He came in the top half of the 4th as a defensive replacement for Jamie Z. Levinson is playing third. The third baseman, Casey Comiskey, moves over to short. Levinson now getting the bat for the first time in the ball game with the bases loaded, and Santos starts him off with a strike on the fastball. Nothing in 1 count. To this point in the ball game, before getting taken out, Z was 0 for 2. He had a sac bunt back in the first and scored a run on an error from the third baseman Sparks in the second. The 0-1 from Santos is a swing and a miss for strike 2. Back-to-back fastballs from Manny Santos puts Levinson in an 0-2 count. This is now game number 9 for Levinson here in the summer of 2025 as a Stallion. To this point, a .333 batting average, 7 hits and 21 ABs for the RPI product. Santos steps off. Still bases loaded and nobody out. Freitag over at third, Ray over at second, and Rodriguez over at first. With an arm warming in the Amsterdam bullpen, looks like closer Derek Duval is going to get up and throw for Amsterdam, and now a 3-run game in the 4th inning. Santos steps off and wants to have a quick word with the catcher, Brett Rowell. So let's take a look at how the Stallions have scored here in this ball game. They scored once in the first. Rodriguez reached on an error. He would come around to score a couple pitches later on a pass ball. The Stallions put up a 5 spot in the bottom half of the second. 2 hits. 1 error from the Amsterdam Mohawks as well. A couple hit by pitches mixed in there. And here in the 4th, they've already scored 1. George Baker started things off with a double. Freitag then reached on an error. Ray was hit by a pitch. And Luis Rodriguez drove in Baker with an RBI single through the right side, just outside the reach of the diving second baseman, Brandon McCrane, for Amsterdam. The 0-2 pitch from Sanchez just misses on the outside corner, 1-2. And Santos really wanted that one. Bases loaded. The 1-2 from Santos. Breaking ball in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And you always have to be cognizant with a runner on third here at Cantine. It's a little bit of a bigger backstop. John Freitag over at third is decent speed. So anytime a ball gets behind Rowell behind the plate, look for Freitag to break for home. The 2-2 pitch. High pop along the left side. Costello running in. He will make the catch. Freitag does not go anywhere at third. Short pop fly from Levinson. Costello makes the play, and Freitag has no choice not to go anywhere at third. A big out for Santos, first of the inning, and no runs come across in that AB as well. Dylan Passo now steps in, who's 0 for 2. Passo hit against Chen En twice. He struck out swinging in the first and grounded out back to him in the second. 0 for 2 here today. 1 out in the inning after Mike Levinson flies out to the left fielder, Lou Costello. First pitch to Passo is a breaking ball in the outside corner, dropped by Rowell behind the plate. But Ronaldo Cochran calls it a strike. 0-1 count on Passo. This season, the rising freshman of Notre Dame has 14 RBIs. A base hit to the outfield would give him 15 and 16, with the bases still full of ponies, and now 1 out in the inning. The 0-1 from Santos. Fastball just misses low in the zone. It's 1-1. Stallions have only left 2 runners on base through their first 3 innings, but have all the bases occupied here. Bases loaded. 1 out. Third plate appearance for the Ponies with the bases loaded here in the inning. The 1-1 pitch is a swing and a miss. 4 strike 2. Santos is 1 strike away from getting consecutive outs. Passo down in the count. He struck out back in the first. Santos has 16 strikeouts this season in 10 innings pitched, so he averages more than a K per inning for the Amsterdam Mohawks out of the bullpen. Santos set at the belt. Fires home. Breaking ball. Misses outside. 2-2. Stallions have 4 hits. Amsterdam 5. But it's been sloppy play defensively for both of these teams. Mohawks have 4 errors. Stallions have 2. Last time these 2 teams played at Cantine, both of them only had 1 error each way across the 9 innings of play. Mohawks did win 8-4. But the Stallions did out-hit Amsterdam 11-10. The 2-2 pitch home just misses outside. 3-2 count on Dylan Passo with the lefty swinging. Pat Costin on deck. Passo comes into today through 30 games with a .286 batting average. Looking to drive in some runs for the Ponies. Base is loaded. The Stallions are looking for that big hit, and Passo stays alive. Flies one out of play. So we'll do it again. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Base is still juiced. John Freitag over at third. Andrew Ray over at second. Luis Rodriguez over at first. Santos got the first out of the inning, the batter before, when Mike Levinson flew out to the left fielder Lou Costello on a short fly ball that kept John Freitag over at third. Dylan Passo now in a full count against the hard-throwing right-hander Manny Santos, with closing pitcher Derek Duval warming in the bullpen. The payoff from Santos. Breaking ball flied into short left center field. Coming on is Costello in left. He will make the catch, and Freitag once more does not go anywhere. Sparks cuts off the throw from Costello, and back-to-back flyouts to left for the Stallions offense do not result in any runs. 2 outs in the inning. Pat Costin now steps in. He's 0 for 2 with 2 groundouts. One was to the second baseman McCrane in the first inning, and in the third tapped one over to Sparks to lead off the third inning. Now has an opportunity to hit with the bases full of Ponies and 2 outs. After Santos allowed the first 4 Stallions to reach base, Baker doubled. Freitag reached on an error from Sparks at third. Ray was hit by the pitch. Rodriguez lined an RBI single. First pitch to Costin misses upstairs, 1-0. Costin playing in his second game as a Stallion. So far this season, 2 for 6, good for a .333 batting average. Last time he played was on July 21st against the Boonville Lumberjacks and notched 2 singles in that one. The 1-0 from Santos. Lined in play, and it's going to get through for a base hit. Freitag walks home. Ray hits third and scores. Luis Rodriguez goes all the way up to third. Pat Costin delivers a 2 RBI single with 2 outs in the inning. Ponies finally get that get that hit that scores multiple runs with the bases loaded. Costin delivers. 9-4 Ponies.
And that's exactly what we needed. We've got runners on the corners with Logan Sanchez up to bat, hoping to keep that momentum. I mean, we have only 1 out left, but you never know what run the Ponies can go on once they're hot.
Once the Ponies are hot, they just keep galloping around the bases, and we've already seen it here today. 5 runs in the second, 3 here in the fourth, but looking for more. Sanchez steps in. Rodriguez over at third. Costin over at first. To this point, Logan Sanchez 1 for 2 in the ballgame. First pitch from Santos, and he has to lunge out of the way to avoid the pitch. 1 ball and no strikes. Sanchez has had 2 nice swings on the baseball. He lined a single to left that started the 5-run second inning. He would come around to score as well. And the following in the third, hit a line drive to the right fielder Hardin, who went full extension to rob him of what may have been an extra base hit. Sanchez lines this one to the netting behind home plate. 1 ball and 1 strike with 2 outs in the inning. This season, Sanchez has done a nice job of hitting with runners in scoring position. He has 23 RBIs and 24 games played as a Stallion, just averaging under an RBI per game. Had 2 on 1 swing last game against the Diamond Dogs. Big swing and a miss from Sanchez on the breaking ball. 1-2. Last game against the Diamond Dogs, we just alluded to it a little bit. 2-run home run in the 8th. First of the season for Sanchez, and 14th of the season for the Stallions as a whole, who sit in 4th place. In home runs, the Amsterdam Mohawks are in first with 20 round trips. Santos misses way upstairs on the fastball. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on, 3 across. Luis Rodriguez on third. Pat Costin on first, Logan Sanchez in the batter's box. Baker, Freitag, and Ray have all come around to score here in the inning. Sanchez looking to plate more here in the fourth. The 2-2 pitch, breaking ball, fouled off to the netting behind home plate. So we'll do it again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 2 runners on, 3 already across.
I mean, Santos has to be careful on these pitches because he's got a speedy Luis Rodriguez on third base, 90 feet away from scoring and making this a 10-4 ball game.
Rodriguez has great speed. Pass ball gets behind Rowell behind the plate. Look for him to take advantage of that play and score on the pass ball. The 2-2 pitch, chopped in play. Sparks fields it behind the bag. Long throw for the first baseman is dropped by McCullough over at first base. Tough play for Sparks to go back on it, field it with a backhand, and throw it across the diamond. Stallions take advantage. Infield single for Sanchez. His second of the ball game, and it's his first RBI. That scores the 10th run for the Ponies here in the fourth inning. Pat Costin over at second. Logan Sanchez knocks in Luis Rodriguez for run number 10. Fourth of the inning for the Stallions. Adonis Medina now steps in and takes a fastball in the outside corner for strike 1. To this point, Medina has singled and scored in the second and reached on an error from the shortstop Will Cowan in the third. He then would steal second but was stranded there when Comiskey lined out to the third baseman Sparks. The 0-1 pitch is a big swing and a miss from Medina. Nothing in 2. Stallions led 6-0 going into the top half of the third. Amsterdam would then score 4, make it a 6-4 ball game. But in the bottom of the fourth, Stallions respond, matching the Mohawks. It's now 10-4 here at Cantine. The 0-2 pitch. Medina lays off the breaking ball that lands just about in the lefty batter's box. 1-2 count. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Manny Santos set at the belt. Fires home to Medina, who lines this one into right center. Harden makes an effort. It will land in front of him. Costin hits third and comes around to score. Logan Sanchez comes to third as well. Back-to-back-to-back RBI hits for the Stallions. They've scored now 5 runs in the inning, 11-4 Ponies.
I mean, Nick, I might sound like a broken record, but like I said earlier in this inning, with still 2 outs, don't let the Ponies get hot.
Ponies are smoking hot right now. 2 different innings here today through the first 4 where they've scored 5 runs. The other one was back in the second. And now they've batted around in the inning as well. Casey Comiskey lined out to the third baseman Sparks in the third to end it. He's going to now hit in the fourth with George Baker on deck, who started the inning with a double and would come around to score as well. First pitch from Santos to Comiskey is a fastball that misses upstairs. 1-0. It's only a matter of time that the Stallions finally found a way to drive in some runs. They've had golden opportunities against these Amsterdam Mohawks here in the summer of 2025. They've out-hit Amsterdam in the 10 games prior by more than 10 on the season. Medina stops his steal attempt about a quarter of the way through the baseline as Comiskey takes outside. It's now a 2-0 count on the shortstop, who originally was the third baseman. Here today, Jamie Z was pulled from the game in the top half of the fourth. Comiskey slid over to short. Mike Levinson came in for him. In this inning, he hit and flew out to left. 1 ball and 1 strike on Comiskey. 0 for 2 here today. Chops one in play, and Santos fields on the mound and will throw over to McKillop at first base. Stallions, 5-run 4th inning, 11-4 ball game. They notch 5 hits in the inning as well. Top of the 5th upcoming with Marciano Neglia towing the slab when we come back. Top of the 5th inning, and a couple changes, one for each team. We're going to start out on the mound. It's the Dallas Hot Wieners called to the bullpen. Marciano Neglia now towing the slab for the Ponies. He's the 3rd pitcher of the ball game. And in the batter's box, pinch hitter for Amsterdam, John Young Jr. is going to come in and hit from the left-handed side, who just played his college ball at Alabama for the Crimson Tide. Neglia just played for Rockland Community College out in Rockland County, New York, going to Dominican next year to play Division II baseball. First pitch from Neglia, misses upstairs. 1-0 count on Young. Young is hitting for DJ Wallace, who was not the original 10-hole hitter in the lineup card. Zach Hernandez, the pitcher, was penciled in, but Wallace hit for him in the 3rd and reached by way of an error from the shortstop Jamie Z. In the 3rd, Neglia starts Young off with a 2-0 count, and going over to Marciano Neglia. This season, the right-hander for the Ponies has an 8.22 ERA in 7 appearances out of the bullpen. He's pitched 15 1/3 innings, 17 walks to go against 8 strikeouts, fires in a strike. First of the ball game for Neglia, 2-1 count on Young. Neglia plunks Young on the leg, leadoff base runner for Amsterdam to start things off in the 5th inning. But Bella, we got to look at that bottom half of the 4th inning. Stallions score 5 runs. It's the 2nd inning here tonight on offense to the first 4, where they've played at 5. But last inning, they made some loud contact.
George Baker last time had a double. That led to Pat Costin having his single. And Logan Sanchez also having the same thing with the RBI to Medina.
3 straight RBI hits for the Ponies last inning. Costin scored 2. Sanchez and Medina each scored 1. 5 came across in the inning. Filippi now steps in, lines this one out into left center. On the run is Freitag. It lands just under his glove in left center. Rodriguez is there and will throw it into the 3rd baseman, Levinson. Back-to-back runners have reached base against Neglia to start the 5th inning. With the number 2-hole hitter due up, Brett Rowell steps in, the catcher for Amsterdam. 1 for 2 here today. Last 2 innings pitched for the Stallions was the left-hander Ryan Franklin. You can officially close the book on him. 2 innings pitched, 4 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned. No walks or strikeouts for the southpaw from Weber International. Brett Rowell steps in. First pitch to him, misses upstairs, 1-0 count. He had an RBI single in the 3rd and grounded into a double play where Andrew Ray fielded it at 2nd, tagged Filippi going from 1st to 2nd, and threw over to 1st for the 4-3 double play in the 1st inning. That was against starter Sean Dertinger. The 1-0 from Neglia is a big swing and a miss. 4 strike 1, and going back to Dertinger, he was really good through the first 2 innings. Shortest start of the season. This is the first of 4 that did not go at least 4 innings. Faced the minimum, 2 hits, 1 hit. 2 innings pitched, 1 hit, no earned runs, and 1 strikeout as well. Neglia now pitching in the 5th. Fires outside. 2-1 count on Rowell. In the 4-run 3rd inning for the Mohawks, they sent 8 hitters up to the batter's box. McCrane and McKillop were the only 2 who did not hit. Rowell had an RBI single in that inning and lines this one into the left center gap. Freitag on the run and makes the nice play in the gap. Freitag throws it in, cut off by Comiskey over at short. Nice play out and left for John Freitag, the left fielder for the Ponies here tonight. Keeps the Amsterdam Mohawks off the scoreboard in the inning for now.
That was a big out for the Stallions because the runners on 1st and 2nd would have moved 90 feet, making 2 Mohawks in scoring position.
Freitag had to go a long way from his left field position. He's a guy that likes playing closer to the line to prevent the double down the line. So to go to his glove side, the left center gap is a much longer run for the Villanova product. Jake Sparks now steps in for his 3rd plate appearance here today. He had an RBI sac fly back in the 3rd inning and popped out to the shortstop, Jamie Z. in the first, now in a 1-1 count against Neglia after he misses with the changeup. One ball, one strike, one out. Runners on first and second. John Young over at second. Luke Filippi over at first. The pitch from Neglia misses outside 2-1. Nice sliding stop by Baker behind the plate to keep the runners where they are. No arm warming in the Stallions bullpen either. Head coach Colin Martin going to let Marciano get a little length here in the fifth inning. There is an arm warming for the Amsterdam Mohawks. Closer Derek Duval in the bullpen for Amsterdam. Looks scheduled. He's going to pitch here in the fifth. 3-1 count now on Sparks. The third baseman for Amsterdam played for the Mohawks last year in the summer of 2024. Hit 194, but drove in 19 runs in 31 games as a Mohawk. The 3-1 pitch is grounded in play. Paso Fields looks to second and flips to Neglia covering at the bag, who steps on first for out number 2 in the inning, but the runners advance 90 feet.
I mean, that was a productive baseball from the Mohawks. I mean, like I just said, maybe I'm a fortune teller. Runners move up, second and third. I mean, Luke Costello up to bat. And here's the pitch.
Neglia kicks and fires home. Fly ball foul from Costello. Medina takes a look, but will land in the Mohawks bullpen for strike one. Lou Costello popped out foul to the first baseman. Paso in the second, grounded out to end the 4-run third inning off Ryan Franklin. Back in the third. Here hitting for the fourth time in the fifth inning. Amsterdam yet to score in the inning, but they are threatening. John Young over at third. Luke Filippi over at second. Neglia set at the belt. The kick and the pitch misses upstairs. 1-1 count now on Costello. Young started the inning, was hit by the pitch. Now the fourth time the Mohawks have been hit by the pitch here today. Through their first 5 innings on offense, the 1-1 pitch from Neglia is a strike on the inside corner. Costello turns to home plate umpire Ronaldo Cochran to get a sense of where that was. Regardless, it's strike 2, and Neglia's 1 strike away from picking up his first strikeout and putting up back-to-back zeros on the scoreboard since the Mohawks plated 4 in the third. The 1-2 pitch misses upstairs, 2-2. Had a lot of action so far through the first 4 innings. 15 total runs, 13 total hits, and 6 total errors. The 2-2 pitch is lined out into left center field for a base hit. Young walks home. Filippi hits third and comes around to score as well. Luke Costello picks up 2 RBIs on 1 swing. And all of a sudden, the Amsterdam Mohawks are creeping their way back into things. It's 11-6 in the top of the 5th. Brandon McCrane steps in for the Mohawks. He struck out in the second inning off Sean Dertinger, the lone strikeout for a Stallions pitcher to this point in the ballgame, actually. And McCrane reached base on an error from the third baseman, Mike Levinson, back in the fourth. Luke Costello over at first. The pitch from Neglia misses upstairs, 1-0. To McCrane. Brandon McCrane for the Amsterdam Mohawks has played in 29 games coming into today, and none of those were at the position he's playing tonight, second base. The SEC product making his debut in the middle of the infield for the Amsterdam Mohawks here in the summer of 2025, and is now in a 2-0 count against Neglia with 2 outs in the inning after the batter before. Luke Costello knocked in 2 runs on 1 swing, scoring Filippi and Young here in the 5th. The kick and the pitch home from Neglia is a changeup in there for strike 1.
I mean, Neglia has a clean slate he's working with. Only a runner on first. He's got nobody on second or third to distract him, so he can really focus on the batter.
Especially since it's a 5-run ball game, he has a little room to work with. Here in the 5th inning, 2-1 pitch to McCrane, misses up and away, 3-1. Now he's 1 ball away from putting a runner in scoring position. A walk would advance Costello from first to second and bring up John McKillop, who is on deck. Three balls, 1 strike. Neglia will take a break, wipe off some sweat off his face, step off, and get on the same page with the catcher, George Baker, behind the plate. Kicks and fires in the dirt, 4-4. Back-to-back 2-out base runners for Amsterdam after they plated 2-on-1 swing from Lou Costello, who now will go from first to second on the base on balls. Baker wants a quick word with Neglia as well in between. Pitches from McCrane to McKillop. McKillop to this point in the ball game, 0 for 2. A pop out to the shortstop, Jamie Z, in the second, and grounded into a 6-4-3 double play that went from Comiskey over at short to Ray at second to Passo over at first. Back in the 4th inning, that's when Comiskey was moved from third to short as well. Levinson came in for Z, who hit second in the lineup after head coach Colin Martin made the replacement to start things in the 4th. First pitch to McKillop is a check swing that Ronaldo Cochran calls a strike anyway, so no reason to appeal to field umpire John McGowan. Nothing in 1 count with 2 outs and 2 on, and 2 already across in the inning for Amsterdam. The 0-1 pitch. Spiked in the dirt, 1 ball and 1 strike. Nice block from Baker behind home plate to keep the runners where they are. This season, McKillop played his spring ball for West Point in 2025 and has been a nice addition for the Amsterdam Mohawks. Still one of the more recent additions. Been there about a month, 13 games played, and he's hit .263 and homered against the Stallions in Game 2 of the doubleheader 2 weeks ago up at Shuttleworth Park, and now sits in a 2-1 count against Neglia, who started the 5th inning. Ryan Franklin through the 3rd and 4th. Sean Dertinger through the first 2. Neglia here in the 5th. He's given up 2 runs on only 2 hits here in the inning. Fires in a strike to McKillop. Now it's 2-2. Big pitch for Neglia coming up. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on, and 2 across here in the top of the 5th. Lou Costello over at second. Brandon McCrane over at first. The 2-2 pitch from Neglia just misses on the inside corner. Count now full with 3-2. And that will release the runners as well. Costello over at second and McCrane at first will be on the move when Neglia kicks and fires home. So if McKillop can find a way to drive one into the gap, look out for McCrane, who's got great speed over there to score on the play. The 3-2 pitch is lined up the middle. Comiskey fields and will go to first in time for out number 3. Big pitch from Marciano to keep the score where it is. 11-6 ball game now after they scored 2 in the top half. Stallions come to bat in the bottom half after they scored 5 runs in the 4th when we come back. Bottom of the 5th inning. Amsterdam plates 2 runs in the top half on 2 hits against newly entered Marciano Neglia. But there's a pitching change for the Amsterdam Mohawks. Closing pitcher Derek Duval coming in here in the bottom of the 5th inning after Manny Santos pitched the 4th, where he allowed 5 runs to come across. George Baker leading things off for the Ponies, and Bella, he started things in a big way last inning.
Yeah, Baker had a loud double down the right field line. It's his 4th of the season, so hopefully being the first batter up. Strike 1 for Baker. Can keep that momentum, and we've got Freitag, Ray, and then back to the top of the lineup with Luis Rodriguez. So hopefully we can start things off with a big boom.
Baker swings and lines one foul to the netting behind home plate. 0-2 against Duval. Here in the summer of 2025, the closing for Amsterdam, he's been money all season long. 25 innings pitched, a 1.07 ERA, only 3 earned in 25 innings. Baker foul tips one, and Rowell drops it at the plate, so he's going to stay alive. 0-2. But going back to Duval, the Stallions actually are responsible for all 3 earned runs of the season. They knocked him around a little bit up there at Shuttleworth Park. But since then, Duval's been money out on the mound for the Mohawks, pitching in the 5th. Though to pitch just misses outside. It's now 1-2. Last time Duval pitched was in the Mohawks' last game back on July 25th, 2 days ago. He threw a scoreless inning and starts it scoreless here with the strikeout of Baker. First out of the inning and 3rd strikeout of the ball game for Mohawks pitching.
Now batting, left field,
John Freitag now steps in for the Stallions, batting for the 3rd time. He's been on base twice. He had an RBI bases loaded walk in the 2nd, and he reached on an error from the 3rd baseman, Sparks. He would then come around to score in the inning as well. So Freitag is responsible for 2 of the 11 runs for the Stallions through the first 4, and he starts in a 1-0 count against Derek Duval. Going back to the last time Duval pitched against the Stallions, 2 innings clean out of the bullpen. He gave up 1 unearned run. That was back up at Shuttleworth Park back on July 15th. Fires in a strike to Freitag, but the last time the Stallions knocked him around was 5 days prior, July 10th. At Shuttleworth, Stallions would lose 8-7, but 6 total runs scored on Duval. Only 2 of those were earned. He misses low. It's now 2-1 on Freitag. Villanova product thus far has done a nice job for the Stallions. Was not in the lineup 2 days ago against the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs. The 2-1 pitch from Duval. Breaking ball lands in there for strike 2. Duval played his college ball this past spring at the College of Charleston. But this next fall, he will be transferring to St. Bonaventure to join his teammate on the Amsterdam Mohawks, Chris Holcraft, who's not in the lineup tonight for Amsterdam. The shortstop was one of 7 all-star selections in the PGCBL. At least for the Mohawks, Duval was one of them as well as he misses upstairs. It's 3-2, but going back to Holcraft, he's not in the lineup tonight. He's played in 39 of the 40 games coming into today. A 306 batting average, 3 homers, 24 RBIs. And another guy not in the lineup for the Mohawks tonight, Bray Touchstone. He's played in same thing, 39 of the 40 games. As Freitag takes the full count walk with Duval spiking the changeup. But going back to Touchstone, he leads the league in home runs and RBIs. 5 home runs, 40 RBIs for him. Looks like he's going to be running away with the MVP of the PGCBL East. Regardless, they're not in the lineup, can't help their team beat the Stallions here tonight. And a guy who can help the Stallions beat Amsterdam is Andrew Ray, who steps in for his 3rd plate appearance here today. 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a hit by pitch in the 2nd and 4th, respectively. First pitch to Ray is a fastball on the outside corner for strike 1. Ray would come around to score in the 4th as well. He was run number 3 of that inning. Rodriguez would then score behind him. And Costin would score as well. Big swing and a miss from Ray late on the fastball. Nothing in 2 count with 1 out in the inning. George Baker led things off. He struck out swinging. Third Stallion to strike out here today. Passo and Ray are the other 2. For a team that doesn't really strike out very much, they only average about 6 per game, which is the 3rd fewest in the PGCBL. Long hold from Duvall. Finally kicks and fires. Ray grounds this one over to second. McGrain fields the shortstop. Cowan over to first, way over his head. Ray will hit first and go to second as well. Ball bounces up and out of play, so Ray will be on second base regardless. But the Mohawks pick up and out on the play, but it's been a sloppy game for their defense despite them getting the out at second base. Error charged the shortstop, Will Cowan, his 3rd of the ball game. 3 errors for Cowan, 2 for the left side of the infield partner. Sparks as well over at third. Sets up the Stallions with a runner in scoring position for the top of the order. Luis Rodriguez steps in for his 4th plate appearance here today against Derek Duvall. First pitch from Duvall is in there, 4-1. Rodriguez back in the leadoff spot where the Stallions fans have got to be happy that he is back. He played 19 games in the month of June, has not started a game for the Ponies in about a month. June 25th was the last time he started this season as a whole. A .382 batting average in 19 games. The 0-1 pitch. Changeup misses upstairs, 0-1. And that success has already carried over here tonight. 3 at-bats for Rodriguez, 3 runs scored. He scored in the 1st, 2nd, and 4th. In the 1st inning, he reached on an error from the shortstop Cowan. In the 2nd, he had an RBI fielder's choice. And in the 4th, he had an RBI single when the bases were loaded. 3rd plate appearance for Rodriguez with a runner in scoring position. The 1-1 pitch from Duvall misses upstairs, now 2-1. Two balls, 1 strike, 1 out, 2 outs, bottom of the 5th inning. Mohawks just committed their 5th error of the ball game as Duvall fires in strike 2. Rodriguez turns back to the dugout as he did not like the call of that one. Ronaldo Cochran behind home plate tonight. The other umpire, John McGowan, on the field. Rodriguez flies this one into center field. Filippi's camped underneath it and will make the play out in center field for out number 3 of the inning. Stallions don't score in the bottom half of the 5th, leave Ray stranded at second. 11-6 when we come back. Freak out.
I can hear you. Ready?
Top of the 6th inning from Kansai. Nick Zuppi alongside Bella Holleran. Here in the Pac Hub broadcast booth, Ponies lead 11-6. Marciano towing the slab for the Ponies here in the 6th. First pitch to Sebastian Harden, leading things off is outside 1-0.
Still
7, 8, 9 due up in the inning. Sebastian Harden, Will Cowan, and Peyton Jemison. Neglia pitched the 5th and allowed 2 runs on 2 hits, and Jemison flies this one out into right field. Medina will make the play for the first out on 2 pitches in the inning. So far, the Stallions pitchers have averaged 2 innings pitched per appearance. Dertinger went the first 2. Franklin went the next 2, 3 and 4. Neglia now pitching in the 6th.
And there's still no Stallion in the bullpen, so I guess head coach Colin Martin is leaving Neglia on the mound for now.
Neglia threw his first inning and a third, giving up 2 runs on 2 hits. Done a nice job out of the bullpen, trying to keep the Amsterdam Mohawks off the scoreboard here in the 6th. With Will Cowan steps in, he has to get out of the way of the pitch. The St. John's product tonight has struggled defensively in the field. 3 errors over at short, but has not struggled in the batter's box. A sac fly in the 3rd off Ryan Franklin, and then he got him again in the 4th with a loud single to left. But he would be stranded on base when Peyton Jemison lined out to left. And here he is again in the 6th. Lines one, and Rodriguez makes the nice running play in the gap to keep Cowan off base here in the top of the 6th inning. Rodriguez had him played perfectly. Luis Rodriguez out in center field, newly committed to St. John's, going to be teammates with Cowan next fall. Played him perfectly, shaded toward that left center gap, and oh boy, did it pay off right there. 2 outs for Neglia.
A quick 2 outs in the top of the 6th.
Neglia has gotten 2 outs on 5 pitches. Peyton Jemison now steps in. To this point in the ball game, he's 0 for 1 with a run scored. Back in the 3rd inning, Franklin hit him, and he would come around to score in that inning as well. And he ended the 4th when there was runners on 1st and 2nd. Harden at 2nd, Cowan at 1st, with a loud line out to left to John Freitag. The 1-0 pitch to Harden is put in play over to 3rd. Levinson fields, Crow hops and throws across to Passo, who comes off the bag and tags Jemison, as he's running by. 1-2-3 inning for Neglia in the 6th. Score remains 11-6 when we come back.
11-6 Cubans.
Ready?
Yeah, ready?
Bottom of the 6th inning, Neglia puts up a 1-2-3 inning in the top half, 2nd of the ball game, and 6 innings pitched for Stallions pitchers. Mike Levinson steps in for his 2nd plate appearance against Derek Duval for the Amsterdam Mohawks, his 2nd inning out of the bullpen as well. Levinson hit in the 4th. He flew out to left with the bases loaded and nobody out, now in a 2-0 count against Duval. He threw last inning. Came in for Manny Santos, who in the 4th gave up 5 hits, 5 runs. 4 of those were earned. One of those unearned because of an error from the shortstop Cowan. The 2-0 from Duval misses low in the dirt, 3-0. 2-3-4 due up for the Stallions here in the inning. Mike Levinson in the batter's box. Looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter, Brandon Fish, come up to the dish right now as Levinson walks to start the inning. 4-pitch walk for the third baseman of the Ponies. Brandon Fish is going to step in and pinch hit for Dylan Passo, who to this point 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Struck out against Chen En in the first, faced him again in the third, grounded out to third, and had a fly out to left in the fourth. Brandon Fish now steps in for the Ponies. He will be third hitter in the order, playing first base. Mike Levinson over at first. Brandon Fish in the batter's box with Pat Costin. Due up next against pitcher Derek Duval. First pitch to Fish is in there for strike one, and that's exactly what he does. He likes working the count, putting the ball in play, trying to see as many pitches as he can. Got to talk to him a couple days ago when he recently joined the Stallions, and he said, I love working counts and hitting with 2 strikes. The 0-1 pitch misses outside, 1-1. The UMass Lowell product in the batter's box for the Ponies. Still one of the more recent additions for the Stallions, a .273 batting average in 6 games played. This now being 7, as Duval's going to check on Levinson over at first. But Fish is experienced with the Stallions. He played for the last 3 summers, 2023, 2024, and now here in 2025. Last summer for the Ponies, he hit .333 across 12 games played in the PGCBL. Duval's going to check on Levinson once more here with Fish in a 1-1 count in the bottom of the 6th. Last inning, Duval had a 1-2-3-4. John Freitag worked a walk. Duval struck out Baker. Ray grounded into a fielder's choice, and Rodriguez ended the inning. Fish pops this one into center field. Filippi camped underneath it and will make the play for the first out of the inning, with Mike Levinson still over at first. Pat Costin now steps in for the Ponies. To this point in the ballgame, Costin's 1 for 3. And he had a great swing the last time he was up. Got a fastball in the outer third and drove it that way. That scored 2 runs just outside the diving attempt of the third baseman, Jake Sparks, for the Mohawks. Costin takes strike 1, 0-1 count against Duval. His other 2 ABs, one came in the first where he grounded out to second. One came in the third where he grounded out to third. 1 for 3 for him. Levinson runs and Costin swings. He hits second. It gets down for a hit. Costin takes a big turn and will stop at first. Stallions execute the hit and run to perfection. Here in the bottom of the 6th, they're set up for another run-scoring opportunity. Runners on the corners for Logan Sanchez. Costin, so far this summer for the Ponies, he's been a great addition. He's only played in now 2 games. Last time he played was back on July 21st against the Lumberjacks, and now has 4 singles on the season, 2 RBIs as well, but more importantly, 2 hits in both games as a Stallion here in the summer of 2025. Lolo lines one right to the third baseman, Sparks, who jumps up and makes the athletic play. Sanchez walks back to the dugout shaking his head as Sparks, who has 2 errors in the ballgame, keeps the Stallions off the scoreboard for now in the bottom of the 6th. 2 outs. Adonis Medina now steps in after the line drive from Sanchez with runners still on the corners, and he does the job. Levinson will come in to score. Costin will hit second and stop there. First pitch swinging, first pitch crushing for Adonis Medina. 3 hits for him in the ballgame, and now back-to-back RBI singles and back-to-back at-bats for Medina as well. 12-6 Ponies.
Nick, I'm noticing a trend here. The Stallions are hot with 2 outs. If you notice, all the runs in the past couple innings have come with the 2 outs. The Stallions are hot.
Last inning, the Stallions scored 4 runs with 2 outs here today. Here in the 6th, they scratch one across on an Adonis Medina single into left field. Casey Comiskey now steps in, and Duval fires upstairs 1-0. But going over to Derek Duval, folks, wherever you may be watching, this is a guy that's been really dominant in the PGCBL this summer. Duval in now 27 and a third innings pitched. He's only given up 4 earned runs on the season, and 3 of those have come against the Stallions. The 1-0 misses upstairs to Comiskey, 2-0. He came into this game with a 1.07 ERA. So against the Ponies, an ERA of above 4. The 2-0 to Comiskey, popped in play over to the first baseman, McKillop, camped underneath it, and will make the play for out number 3. Here in the bottom of the 6th, but not before Medina does the job. An RBI single that scores Mike Levinson for the Ponies. 12-6 going to the top of the 7th with Neglia coming out.
Ready?
Top of the 7th inning from Kanta and Ningzupi alongside Bella Holler, and we're chugging along with the Stallions leading 12-6 over the PGCBL East number 1 overall seed Amsterdam Mohawks for the playoffs. Stallions have clinched the 2 seed. They're 4.5 games back behind Amsterdam with only 3 to go. Not mathematically possible for them to finish with a better record than Amsterdam. 13 straight seasons for the Mohawks where they're the number 1 overall seed in the East. Stallions fell to them last year up at Shuttleworth Park in the East Final in a game that was back and forth. Both teams led and trailed. But the Mohawks did come out victorious. Now they're back-to-back PGCBL champions. They would beat the winner of the West as well. As John Young Jr. steps in for his second plate appearance of the ball game, he pinch hit for DJ Wallace in the 5th. In that plate appearance, he was hit by a pitch and scored a run in that inning as well. Wallace, in the 3rd, reached on an error from, at the time, shortstop Jamie Z, who was taken out in the 4th. Casey Comiskey now moved from 3rd to short, with Mike Levinson coming in for Z. Hitting 2nd in the lineup, 3-1 count from Neglia on Young Jr. The 3-1 from Neglia, flied into right center. Medina on the run, Rodriguez as well. Medina has a beat on it and makes the play in the gap for out number 1. Here in the top of the 7th inning, and Marciano, ever since allowing the 2 RBI single to Lou Costello, he's retired 5 straight, settled in nicely against the Amsterdam Mohawks. Top of the order for Amsterdam, rolling around. They've completed 3 full times through the batting order. Filippi, leadoff man for Amsterdam, hitting for his 4th time. First pitch from Neglia is chopped foul over to the left side for strike 1. Filippi, to this point in the ball game, he's been perfect. 3 for 3, 2 singles and an RBI double. That came in the 3rd. He also scored in the 5th as well on the swing from Costello, who hits 4th in the Amsterdam lineup. The 0-1 from Neglia. Change up on the outside corner for strike 2. Nothing in 2 count on Filippi. Despite his 190 batting average, he has a .421 on base percentage, top 10 in the PGCBL in that category. He's played in every game for the Mohawks as well and stays alive in this AB, flying one foul outside of Cantine Field. Nothing in 2 count against Neglia. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Nobody on. Neglia kicks and fires home, and Filippi bleeds one to the left side, and it gets down for a base hit and left. A 4 for 4 ball game for Luke Filippi. Came into today with a 190 batting average in 40 games played, but 4 hits for him here today. And as well, out in left field for the Ponies, a defensive change. Griffin Crane comes in for left fielder John Freitag. So Freitag's night is over. Crane will be penciled in into the 9th spot in the lineup. Brett Rowell steps in for the Amsterdam Mohawks with 1 out and 1 on. First pitch from Neglia misses outside 1-0. Nice stop from Baker behind the plate to keep Filippi over there at first. And he's got great speed over there as well. Tied for 2nd on the team in stolen bases with 11. Chris Holcraft leads the team with 18, who's not in the lineup tonight. The 1-0 pitch is lined out into left field. Crane has a beat on it, and he's there to make the play for the 2nd out of the inning. Brett Rowell now 1 for 4. He had an RBI single back in the 3rd and grounded into a double play as well. Brings up Jake Sparks for the Amsterdam Mohawks with 2 outs in the top half of the 7th. Sparks steps in with Luke Filippi over at first. Amsterdam looking for a spark, no pun intended. Down by 6, and 12-6 is the score, and Sparks swings and misses for strike 1. To this point in the ball game, Jake Sparks, the 3rd baseman for Amsterdam, popped out to short in the 1st, had an RBI sac fly off Ryan Franklin in the 3rd, and grounded out to the pitcher Marciano Neglia in the 5th. The 0-1 pitch misses low in the dirt. Filippi gets a read, and Baker can't corral it behind home plate, allowing Filippi to reach 90 feet. One ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Jake Sparks steps up. First runner in scoring position for the Amsterdam Mohawks since the 5th, when Neglia came into the ballgame in that half inning. Sparks flies this one out of play for strike 2. Marciano 1 strike away from getting back-to-back zeros on the scoreboard for the Ponies after he allowed 2 runs to come across in the 5th on 2 hits. But it could have been more. He left 2 runners on base, runners on 1st and 2nd, getting John McKillop to ground out to short. The 1-2 pitch from Neglia, put in play right in front of him. Fields in front of the mound will run over and throw over to Fish at first, just in time for out number 3 of the inning. Jake Sparks grounds out to end things, going to the bottom half of the 7th. But before that, it's time to stretch from Cantine. God Bless America coming up. Bottom of the 7th inning. Ponies lead 12-6. Marciano puts up back-to-back zeros in the 6th and 7th. Gets out a little bit of trouble. Luke Filippi reached second base, but gets out of it with Jake Sparks grounding one right back to him. He flipped it over to Pat Fish at first base. For the 3rd out of the inning, Stallions have 7, 8, 9, 10 due up in the inning. George Baker, Griffin Crane, and Andrew Ray will hit in the inning, and they're going to do it against a new arm for the Amsterdam Mohawks. 3rd pitching change of the night. 4th pitcher in total, Joey Gesowich, now towing the slab for the Mohawks. This season, Gesowich has been pretty solid for Amsterdam. 10 appearances, a 9 ERA. He's pitched 11 innings, 13 strikeouts to 7 walks. So this is another guy out of the bullpen for head coach Keith Griffin that averages just over a strikeout per inning. Kai Chen-en for Amsterdam went the first 3. He was the starter. Gave up 6 runs. Only 5 were earned, but only on 2 hits as well. Manny Santos then pitched the 4th, where he allowed 5 runs. 4 of those were earned. Derek Duval then pitched the next 2, 5th and 6th. He gave up 1 in the 6th, none in the 5th. 2 runs, 2 hits, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts as well for Duval. George Baker leading things off for the Ponies. First pitch from Gesowich is flied into play right in the middle of the infield. It will be Cowan calling off the second baseman McCrane at short to make the play for out number 1 on 1 pitch of George Baker. Griffin Crane comes in for his first plate appearance of the ballgame. He was a defensive replacement last inning for John Freitag. Freitag, to this point, was 0 for 1 with 2 walks. He had an RBI bases loaded walk in the 2nd, reached by way of an error in the 4th, and walked back in the 5th against Derek Duval, who has since exited the ballgame. And now Joey Gesowich, new pitcher for Mohawks, new hitter for the Stallions. The 0-1 pitch is spiked in the dirt. 0-1 count on Crane. This season, Griffin Crane has been a nice addition. He's one of 2 Louisville pros for the Stallions. George Baker is the other, who just popped out to the shortstop Cowan. Crane is playing in game number 14 today, a .225 batting average for him. Gesowich misses outside on back-to-back pitches. It's now 2-1. This game for both teams is quote-unquote meaningless, since both of these teams have clinched their spot in the playoffs. Mohawks will be the 1 seed, Stallions will be the 2 seed, and Utica will be the 3 seed. So this Wednesday, the Stallions on July 30th will be taking on the Utica Blue Sox. First pitch is scheduled for about 7 o'clock, and Crane nearly gets extra bases on that swing, lands just foul down the left field line. But going back to the playoff picture, Boonville and Mohawk Valley are sweating it out for the 4th spot, who will play the Amsterdam Mohawks up at Shuttleworth Park in round 1. Boonville and Mohawk Valley are only separated by a half a game, and each team has 1 game to go. Gesowich misses on the outside corner. Count now sits at 3-2 with 1 out in the inning. Andrew Ray on deck. Mohawk Valley off tonight, and Boonville is as well. Their game was canceled due to rain, that being very important for the Lumberjacks, as Crane fouls this one out of play. Stay alive at 3-2. But Boonville had a perfect opportunity to gain ground on Mohawk Valley and tie them with 1 game to go on each side. Now Boonville has to win and Mohawk Valley to lose for them to be the 4th overall seed in the PGCBL East. Crane lines this one over to second. McCrane fields the 2-hopper in time over to first for out number 2 of the inning. Nice at bat from Crane. He made Gesowich work. 9 total pitches from right-hander to the left-hander. But ultimately, Gesowich wins the battle. 2 outs with Andrew Ray stepping in for his 4th plate appearance here tonight. Gesowich fires in a strike. 0-1 count on Ray. To this point, Ray's 0 for 2 with a hit by pitch and a run scored. Both of those coming in the 4th. The 0-1 pitch is a swing and a miss. Nothing in 2 count on on Ray. Geswich pitching for the Mohawks. 1 strike away from actually getting the first 1-2-3 inning for an Amsterdam Mohawk pitcher. At least 1 Stallion has reached base in every inning through the first 6. The 0-2 pitch is nubbed in play. It's going to be fair up the line. Ken Geswich makes the play. He fields and fires over the head of the first baseman, McKillop. Ray hits first and goes to second as McCrane picks it up down the right field line. It's a 2-out error for Amsterdam. Their 6th of the ball game defensively, a season high for the Mohawks. Andrew Ray now has reached base on an error in back-to-back plate appearances. In the 5th, it was Will Cowan who booted the ball over at short. Now the pitcher, Joey Gesewich, throws it over the head of McKillop over at first base. Sets the table for the top of the order. Luis Rodriguez here with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position in the bottom of the 7th. First pitch from Gesewich. Rodriguez squares the bunt but pulls it back. Nothing in 1 count. 1-0 count. Rodriguez, to this point in the ball game, he's been on base every single time except for 1. The side armor, Gesewich, fires a strike on the inside corner for strike 1. Rodriguez turns to look at Ronaldo Cochran behind home plate as he did not like the call. Regardless, Rodriguez has had a stellar game to this point. 3 runs scored, 2 RBIs, and his first start for the Stallions in just over a month. The last time he started for the Ponies was June 25th. Gesewich fires in a strike with the fastball on the outside corner, 1-2. We alluded to it a little bit earlier when Andrew Ray was up. Now that he's on second base, the Stallions have had a runner on base in every single inning against the Amsterdam Mohawks here today. They've left a total of 7 on base as Rodriguez lines this one up the middle for a base hit. Ray gets the windmill from third base coach Ron Kelder. Throw goes into second as McCray catches it, and Rodriguez, 3 RBIs on the ball game, 3 hits as well. To go along with 3 runs, Stallions fans, you got to be smiling wherever you are watching because Luis Rodriguez is back doing what he does best against the Amsterdam Mohawks here today. 13-6 Ponies. Mike Levinson now steps in with 2 outs and Rodriguez over at first after he just knocked in Andrew Ray, who was on second after Gesewich came off the mound and threw it into right field. First pitch to Levinson is a big breaking ball out in the zone. 1 ball and no strikes. And Rodriguez this summer, he's got great speed.
Rodriguez has 23 stolen bases on the year. And speaking of stolen bases, here he goes again for 24.
Rodriguez now 24 stolen bases on the season. He was on pace to break the PGCBL stolen base record even, Bella.
Nick, speaking of records being broken, didn't a player from Boonville just break it?
Andy Perez, he stole 2 bases last night for the Boonville Lumberjacks. That was stolen bases 43 and 44 for the middle infielder for the Lumberjacks. He set the PGCBL single-season stolen base record here in the summer of 2025. Andy Perez with over 40 swipes of a base this summer. But the Stallions as a whole lead the PGCBL in the stolen base category. Rodriguez picks up his 2nd of the ball game and 4th total for the Ponies. The 2-1 pitch is flied out of play for strike 2. But on the season, the Stallions now have 138 stolen bases, and this being game number 40, averaging just about 4 per game. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the inning. Luis Rodriguez over at second. Joey Gesowich kicks and fires to Mike Levinson behind him. Ball ricochets off the wall behind home plate, which allows Rodriguez to go up 90 feet from second to third. Levinson, to this point in the ball game, 0 for 1 with a walk. He flew out to left when there were bases loaded in the 4th and walked in the 6th here for the 3rd time of this ball game. The 3-2 pitch from Gesowich misses outside, ball 4. Mike Levinson doing what he does best and draw the walk he came into today with an on-base percentage of nearly 600 at .533. 8 walks in 28 plate appearances. 2 more here tonight.
I mean, Nick, like I said earlier, out number 2 is where the magic happens for the Ponies. We've got runners on the corners with Brandon Fish up to bat. Who knows what's next?
Stallions have scored 5 runs with 2 outs since the 4th inning. 4 of those came in the 4th. They scored 1 in the 6th. Last inning when Adonis Medina lined a single that scored Mike Levinson. Brandon Fish now hits for the 2nd time in the ball game. He came into pinch hit for Dylan Passo last inning when he flew out to center field. 0 for 1 for Fish. The 1-0 from Gesowich goes behind home plate, and here comes Rodriguez to score run number 14 of the ball game for the Ponies as Mike Levinson advances to second base on the pass ball as well. 2nd time Rodriguez has scored on a pass ball in the ball game. It's 14-6 Ponies. Rodriguez leaving a mark all over today. 2 hits. 3 RBIs, 4 runs scored, 2 stolen bases, as the pitching coach for the Amsterdam Mohawks is going to go out and have a word with Joey Gesowich on the mound. He got the first 2 guys out. George Baker popped out to short, Will Cowan, and Griffin Crane grounded out to the second baseman McCrane. Since then, Andrew Ray reached on an error from Gesowich out on the mound. Rodriguez lined a single up the middle. Levinson walked, and a pass ball on the most recent pitch allowed him to come in to score as well. To this point in the ball game, Bella, it's been a pretty hectic game at that. 20 runs, 19 hits, 8 errors as well. A lot of action on the bases tonight.
I mean, I'm glad I got to be on call with you, Nick. This has been an exciting game, and I'm a producer. I don't call games, so this has been a lot of fun with you.
Producing the game as well as being an analyst on the color side for the Stallions YouTube network here on July 27th. Shout out, Dad, if you're still watching. Happy birthday back at home. 2-0 count on Brandon Fish. Lefty swinging UMass Lowell product. Takes inside 3-0. Ball back goes to the back of the backstop, allowing Mike Levinson to move up another 90 feet. Back-to-back pass balls has brought Levinson from first to third, and he's 90 feet away from scoring. The 3-0 from Gesowich. Strike 1 on the inside corner. Ronaldo Cochran signals strike. Brandon Fish does not go anywhere. 3 balls and 1 strike to the first baseman, who we said earlier, pinch hitting for Dylan Passo. Passo, through the first 4 innings, hit 3 times. 0 for 3 for him. Fish chops this one in play over to the first baseman. He will field and call off Gesowich. Step on the bag in time for out number 3. But the Stallions play 2 more runs, and they have Luis Rodriguez to thank. He drives one in and comes around to score himself on a pass ball. 14-6 Ponies going to the 8th. Top of the 8th inning, and it's a Dallas Hot Wieners call to the bullpen for the Ponies. Here, Matt Murtaugh comes in and towing the slab now for the Ponies in the 8th. Nothing in one count against Lou Costello. Now nothing in two. 4-5-6-2 up for Amsterdam. And going back over to Matt Murtaugh, he's been a high leverage arm that head coach Colin Martin loves to use in these late game scenarios. 8 appearances for him, and 5 of those have come in the 7th inning or later. The line, the kick, the pitch from Murtaugh is a swing and a miss. 4 strike 3. 3 pitches, 3 strikes, 1 out in the top of the 8th. Matt Murtaugh comes in and blows the smoke by Lou Costello. Brandon McCrane now steps up.
Now batting second, Brandon McCrane.
I mean, Nick, that's the second strikeout of the night for the Stallions. Sean Dertinger with the first in, with Murtaugh's first up at bat. Another strikeout on the board for the Stallions.
McCrane nubs this one foul for strike 2. And Bella, you talked about it just then. 2 strikeouts for the Stallions pitchers as a whole, and the Mohawks don't really strike out that much in a game this season. They have the second fewest strikeouts in the season in the PGCBL, 232 across 41 games, just averaging about 5.5 per contest. McCrane now in a 0-2 count. Matt Murtaugh yet to throw a ball in the inning.
I mean, he's 1 pitch away from making it 3, possibly.
No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Brandon McCrane here today, 0 for 2 with a walk, back in the 5th. McCrane pops this one foul. Out of play. We'll do it again. No balls and 2 strikes. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Top of the 8th inning, Matt Murtaugh now towing the slab. You can officially close the book on Marciano Neglia, and he did a great job in 3 innings of work, 3 hits, 2 earned runs to go with a walk and no strikeouts. He came in and really provided a spark out on the mound defensively for the Stallions, keeping the Mohawks offense at bay for the most part, allowing the offense to get to work in the bottom half of the innings. Since Neglia came in, Stallions have scored 3 runs. 2 of those came in the bottom half of the 7th. They scored 2 runs on 1 hit and 1 error in the inning as well. Andrew Ray reached on the error. He would advance to second on the throw from the pitcher, Joey Gesowich. And then Luis Rodriguez would drive him in with an RBI single, who then came around to score in that inning as well, a couple pitches later on a pass ball. The wind, the kick, the pitch from Murtaugh, nubbed in play foul off the foot of McCrane. So we'll do it again at no balls and 2 strikes. Sean Dertinger went the first 2 innings for the Ponies. He faced the minimum, gave up 1 hit, 1 strikeout as well, no runs. Ryan Franklin then pitched the 3rd and 4th, where he gave up 4 runs. Neglia pitched the next 3, gave up 2. Murtaugh now in the 8th. The 0-2 pitch spiked in the dirt. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 7th pitch coming up from Murtaugh to McCrane here in the 8th. That's been a very action-packed ball game. 20 runs, 19 hits, 8 errors, a season high for Amsterdam in the error column. 6-2 for the Ponies. The 1-2 pitch from Murtaugh, chopped in play foul. Down the third baseline, so we'll do it again. Add 1 ball and 1 strike. This is meeting number 11 between these 2 teams. If the Stallions hold on, they would have a record of 4-6-1 against the Mohawks this season. They were 2-3-1 up at Shuttleworth, and if they hold on today, they would be 2-3 against Amsterdam here at Cantine Field. The 1-2 pitch popped up foul. Baker has room to make the play. He now finds it and makes the play in foul territory to retire McCrane. 9 pitches from Murtaugh to McCrane, but Murtaugh wins the battle. 2 outs in the inning. 9 of the last 10 hitters for Amsterdam have gone down out. The only one was Luke Filippi back in the 7th when he singled off Marciano Neglia. First pitch to John McCullough is a swing and a miss in there for strike one on the fastball. Murtaugh really reared back and fired there. Nothing in one count. The 0-1 pitch misses outside. 1-1 on McKillop to this point in the ball game. 0 for 3. Pop out to the shortstop at the time, Jamie Z in the second, and then grounded into a double play, starting with the shortstop Casey Comiskey, who is still there now, and then grounded out to him once more in the 5th. The 1-1 pitch on the outside corner for strike 2. Murtaugh this season, 18 strikeouts in 21 and now 22 full innings pitched. The 1-2 pitch lined up the middle for a base hit. John McKillop picks up his first hit of the ball game. A 2-out single brings up Sebastian Hardin, the right fielder for the Amsterdam Mohawks here with a runner on.
Right fielder, Sebastian Hardin.
So Hardin steps in, and he's had a good day himself. A double to start things off in the 3rd. That was off Ryan Franklin, who then hit him back in the 4th. And Marciano Neglia got him to fly out to right in the 6th. 2 for 3 line for him. First pitch to Hardin is a fastball up and in. He has to get out of the way to avoid it. 1-0 count. Hardin came in as a defensive replacement last time these two teams played for the 9th inning, where the Stallions did lose 8-4. And here in his 4th plate appearance, he grounds out to the second baseman, Ray, to end the 8th inning. Matt Murtaugh comes in and puts up a 0. 3 straight for Stallions pitchers. We're going to the bottom half of the 8th, 14-6 when we come back.
14-6.
And then go here.
Okay. Ready?
Bottom of the 8th inning, and the Stallions are up 14-6, and they only need 2 runs to mercy the Amsterdam Mohawks to this point in the ballgame. They have 14 runs on 11 hits, 6 errors defensively for the Amsterdam Mohawks as well. They've left 9 runners on base, and coming into tonight, Bella, the runners left on base was a noteworthy topic for the Stallions offense.
Yeah, the Stallions coming into tonight had 34 runners left on base. Over 3 games played coming in tonight against the Mohawks. I mean, one of those games, we had 16 runners left on base.
And that was against these very Amsterdam Mohawks just a couple days ago here at Cantine Field, where the Stallions dropped 8-4, but out-hit the Mohawks 11-10. Pat Costin leads things off and is in a 0-1 count against Joey Gesowich, who last inning in the 7th came on and allowed 2 runs on 1 hit, pitching now in the 8th. He's the 4th pitcher of the ballgame for Amsterdam as well. The 0-1 pitch is in there for strike 2. And Costin steps in. He has singles in back-to-back plate appearances, 2 groundouts in the first 2, 1 to second, 1 to third, a 2 RBI single in the 4th, and a single in last inning in the 6th, 2 innings ago. Takes inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes on the designated hitter for the Stallions.
I mean, Nick, like you said, the Stallions are out hitting the Mohawks here tonight at Cantine Field once again, 11-9.
Stallions have out-hit Amsterdam on the season series against them this year. The 1-2 pitch is foul-tipped in and out of the glove of Rowell. But Bella, going back to that statistic, the Stallions coming into today had 12 more hits than Amsterdam in the 10 games they've played. But the number that they need to look at against Amsterdam specifically is left on base.
I mean, in the 2025 season, the Stallions and the Amsterdam Mohawks matching up. Amsterdam has had 82 left on base, and the Saugerties Stallions have had 107. I mean, that's around roughly 20 more.
The 2-2 pitch, it misses inside 3-2. And here today, runners left on base have been pretty much even. 9 for the Ponies and 8 for the Mohawks. The difference in the ball game here today is errors. Both Mohawks have 9 hits, Stallions have 11, but the Mohawks have 6 errors as opposed to the Stallions 2. High chopper from Costin, and he beats out the throw over to first. Sparks spikes it, it gets past McKillop, but Costin hits the bag first. 3-hit ball game for the lefty swinging Pat Costin, who just played his college ball at Indiana in the Big Ten for the Hoosiers. He's been on base in the last 3 plate appearances, all by way of the single. Brings up Lolo to the batter's box for the 5th time tonight.
I mean, Pat's been on fire tonight. Like you just said, he's had 3 out of our 12 hits.
Stallions now have 12 hits after the single from Costin for a team coming into today. That's 5th in the hit category in the PGCBL on the season as a whole. They average just about 9 per game here tonight, eclipsing that average with 12. Sanchez steps in, and he takes upstairs from Gesowich on the fastball, 1-0. Stallions need 2 more runs for a mercy rule victory against the top seed Amsterdam Mohawks. The 1-0 pitch is popped up foul behind the plate. Rowell can't find it, and it will land out of play for strike 1. Sanchez here today has had a really good night at the plate. He has 2 hits. One of those was for an RBI back in the 4th. And 2 of the outs he made, a line drive to the right fielder Hardin back in the 3rd, where Hardin made a diving play, robbing him of extra bases. But back in the 6th, he scorched one to Jake Sparks over at 3rd, where he jumped up and robbed the Lolo of an RBI hit in that inning at the time the bases were loaded. But Adonis Medina did the job. He singled in Pat Costin with the next swing as well. Nonetheless, Sanchez 2 for 4, but a good night at the plate. The 2-1 from the side armor Gesowich is slider on the outside 3rd. 2-2 count now on Sanchez. With Justin Ford and Travis Abensiefken gone for the summer, Sanchez now leads the team in RBIs with 24 as he flies this one into short right center. McCrane coming out on it, Hardin coming in on it, but it will be McCrane to make the play for out number 2 in the inning. But going back to Sanchez before Adonis Medina steps in, he takes the lead in RBIs with 24 after that RBI single in the 4th. Him and Jamie Z were tied for the team lead at 23 coming into today, but Sanchez notched number 24 against the Amsterdam Mohawks here on July 27th, 2025. Adonis Medina now steps in, the right fielder for the Stallions. He's had a great night as well. First pitch to him is a fastball for strike 1. Medina, to this point in the ball game, 3 singles. 2 of those was when he drove in a run, 1 in the 4th and 1 in the 6th. He singled and scored in the 2nd as well. The 0-1 pitch from Gesowich is popped up into play. John McKillop, the first baseman, camped underneath it and will make the play for out number 2 in the inning. Back-to-back pop-ups brings up Casey Comiskey with 2 outs and a runner on first. Casey Comiskey steps in. Nothing in 1 count on Comiskey.
I mean, a quick 2 outs for the Mohawks. I mean, they've been playing some pretty sloppy defense with 6 errors, but none so far. Looking for that one more to bring us to the bottom of the 8th.
They've had an error in 6 of the 7 innings so far in the ball game. They've played clean so far, but there's still 2 outs in the inning. Stallions have a couple pitches to work with as Casey Comiskey's in a 0-2 count. He's hitting for the 5th time. He had an RBI fielder's choice back in the 2nd where he would score as well. Ponies played 5 in that inning as a whole. Since then, line drive to the 3rd baseman Sparks. Ground out to the pitcher Santos and a pop out to the 1st baseman McKillop in the 3rd, 4th, and 6th respectively. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Pat Costin over at first. He led the inning off with a single. Stallions only need 2 runs for a Mercy Rule victory. It would be the 2nd Mercy Rule loss for the Amsterdam Mohawks all season long. The 1-2 pitch is nubbed out of play. So we'll do it again at 1-2. The last time that the Mohawks were mercied was a 13-3 loss to the Boonville Lumberjacks up at Shuttleworth Park on June 20th. It's the first time under the Keith Griffin era that the Mohawks were mercied at Shuttleworth Park. The 1-2 pitch is flied out of play, 1-2 count. And for Amsterdam's sake, Boonville has a chance to make the playoffs. They're a half game back of the Diamond Dogs, who are in 4th tomorrow. Going for the rest of the season. Both teams have 1 game left, so if Boonville wins and Mohawk Valley loses, they're in. Casey Comiskey pops this one into center field. Luke Filippi will make the play for out number 3 of the inning. Stallions do not score. 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on in the inning. We're going to the 9th. Matt Murtaugh looking to nail things down.
Ready?
Yep.
Ready?
Ponies are 3 outs away from victory, which would be number 26 on the season, and this being game number 40 here in the summer of 2025 for the Stallions. This is game number 11 against the Amsterdam Mohawks coming into today. They've won 3 of those and tied 1, 6 losses against Amsterdam, as Matt Murtaugh is out on the mound looking to get the final 3 for the Stallions In what has been an action-packed game, 20 runs, 21 hits, 8 errors between both teams. Second highest scoring game for the Stallions all season long. The 1-0 pitch from Murtaugh is in there for strike one. The other one was against these Amsterdam Mohawks back on June 8th. First home game for the Stallions of the summer was a 15-9 thriller that the Amsterdam Mohawks came away victorious in, where they notched 14 hits in that one. Cowan flies this one into right field. Medina makes the play for out number 1 here in the top of the 9th. 2 more for the Stallions. In that ball game, it was very similar to this one. 24 runs, 23 hits, 7 errors between the two teams in that ball game. Stallions and Mohawks, a lot of offense this season between these two teams. Peyton Jemison now steps in and grounds this one over to third, just foul down the line. Nothing in 1 count. $11 of the last 13 hitters for Amsterdam have been retired. That stems all the way to the last out of the 5th to the first out here in the 9th. Neglia Pitt was the one in the 5th and 6th and 7th. Murtaugh in the 8th teamed up to retire 11 of the last 13 hitters for an Amsterdam offense that comes into today first in on-base percentage in the PGCBL and 4th in batting average. The 1-1 pitch flied out of play for strike 2. A win for the Stallions would improve upon what's been an unbelievable July for them. They would move to 9-1 at home in the month of July, 14-6 as a whole. The 1-2 pitch from Murtaugh is fouled off to the screen behind home plate, so we'll do it again at 1-2. PGCBL going forward, the playoffs, top 3 seeds have all been locked up. Mohawks will be 1, Stallions will be 2, and host the number 3 seed Utica Blue Sox on July 30th. This upcoming Wednesday, we'll have that game for you right here on the Stallions YouTube network. As Jemison flies this one into right field. On the run is Medina, and he makes the beautiful sliding play right next to the foul line for the second out of the inning. Couple sparklers from the Stallions outfield tonight. One from Freitag, one from Rodriguez, and now Medina completes the trifecta with the beautiful play here in the 9th. 2 outs.
Nick, speaking of playoffs, hopefully the Stallions can take this momentum that they've used this entire game and push that to Wednesday's night game against Utica Blue Sox.
14 runs for the Stallions here tonight against the Amsterdam Mohawks, as pinch hitter Brad Curtis steps in against Matt Murtaugh. The 14 runs for the Ponies tonight actually tie a season high that they've done twice. They beat Mohawk Valley 14-11 up there in Mohawk Valley, where they scored 7 runs in the 8th inning to come back and beat the Diamond Dogs, as well as back on July 7th, where they mercied the Glens Falls Dragons 14-4 in 8 innings of play, where they had 11 hits in that ball game. The 0-2 pitch from Murtaugh is grounded in play. Levinson fields, throws on the run over to Fish at first, and that is your ball game. Stallions win 14-6, out-hit Amsterdam 12-9, and commit 4 fewer errors. Amsterdam makes 6 errors. Stallions has 2. Second highest scoring ball game of the season for the Ponies. And Bella, the offense tonight, just unbelievable. 14 runs, tying a season high.
Yeah, Nick, I'm super impressed with how the Stallions played tonight. And, I mean, like we talked about actually in one of our pre-games, just our offensive stats in July have been booming. And like I just said earlier, hopefully we can push this into Wednesday, take this momentum, and just the defense and the offense, we're crushing it tonight. Looking forward to Wednesday, and thanks for letting me call this game tonight. I mean, not actually call the game. I was doing color the whole time. I've never done it before, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, but you produced it as well. Stallions win 14-6. They got 2 games left. They'll be up at Glens Falls tomorrow on the road. We'll have that for you here on the Stallions YouTube network before they finish things off right here at home against the Utica Blue Sox on July 29th, and then they will host those very Blue Sox the following day on July 30th. But the Stallions as a whole in the month of July are rolling. They move to 14-4-1, 9-1 at home. All of the 4 losses and 1 tie in the month of July as well are to the Amsterdam Mohawks. Stallions getting hot at the right time.
And Nick, speaking of phenomenal plays this game, one of those players was Luis Rodriguez, our player of the game.
Rodriguez here today for the Stallions, making his first start since nearly a month. The last time he played was June 25th, and here today he was awesome. 2 hits, 3 RBIs, 3 runs scored, 2 stolen bases, hit 5 times tonight for the Ponies. Not much more you can ask if you're head coach Colin Martin, especially out of a guy who hasn't played in live action over the past month. And that will do it. We were waiting. We were waiting to see if player of the game Luis Rodriguez would be joining us up here in the Pack Hub broadcast booth, but he will not be. But regardless, Stallions beat the Amsterdam Mohawks for the 4th time this season. Out of 11 matchups against the top seed in the PGCBL, Stallions will host the Utica Blue Sox one more time in the regular season on July 29th before they play them right here at home in round number 1 of the PGCBL playoffs on July 30th. But before those 2 games against the Blue Sox, the next game for the Ponies is tomorrow night up at Glens Falls. The Stallions take on the Dragons for another matchup before the season comes to an end, and we will have that game for you. 6:45 Archtop Fiber pregame show with first pitch slated for 7 o'clock. Couple of thank yous to hand out before we go. Producer / my partner, Bella Holleran, up here in the Pack Hub broadcast booth. Sideline reporter, Hannah Tampassis. Nick Zuppi signing off saying, happy birthday, Dad. July 27th, shout out, 52 years old, and the Stallions win. What could be better? 14-6 here at Canton.
And we'll see you on Wednesday.